Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. The system is too pampering, and rewards are given in various ways. Chapter 1. It actually transmigrated. The world of Kanchong, the martial Dao world where everyone practices martial arts. Here, martial arts is respected and fists are power. Whoever has a bigger fist will be justified. Ling Feng sat at the entrance of the village, staring at the setting sun in the distance in a daze. He was originally a fresh graduate from Blue Star. He had just entered the society and was about to show off his skills. Unexpectedly, he was greeted by endless overtime work in his boss's PCU. He finally died suddenly after staying up late while working overtime. As soon as you wake up, you are in this new world of martial Dao. As a member of Lingjia village, his parents died young, and he has been making a living on his own since he was 10 years old, either following the adults into the mountains to cut firewood or helping to process the prey when returning from hunting in the village. Anyway, I just try my best to make ends meet. Until Ling Feng transmigrated and merged with the original owner's consciousness. Seeing the original owner's life over the years, he couldn't help but feel sad. What a poor, strong kid. He sighed, turned around and returned to the village. The villagers along the road greeted him when they saw him. Xiao Feng, come to my house for dinner tomorrow. Xiao Feng, come here tomorrow to chop wood. The price is still the same. The villagers are very enthusiastic. I also like this self-reliant child from the bottom of my heart. Everyone is helping each other in their own way. Some people are afraid of hurting their children's self-esteem, so they try to make their children work and then give them benefits. It's been like this all these years. Ling Feng smiled and nodded in agreement. By the way, Ling Feng, get ready. Tomorrow, adults from White Cloud sect are coming to test the children's bones. If they are chosen, they can join White Cloud sect. This is a good opportunity to soar into the sky. The village chief said to Ling Feng. Hearing this, Ling Feng couldn't help but feel excited. In this world, martial artist is supreme. Everyone is proud to practice martial arts. It is said that some powerful martial artists can even fly to the sky and escape from the earth, move mountains and seas, and are no different from the legendary immortals. Wouldn't it be a pity if I didn't practice martial arts when I came to this world? Ling Feng thought to himself. The next day, he got up early and took a shower. Waiting for the arrival of the White Cloud sect. Whoosh! I saw a white figure not far away coming in the wind, falling like a fallen leaf on the village square. Ling Feng's eyes lit up when he saw this. Is this the martial artist? He can actually fly in the wind, so awesome. The white figure was a middle-aged man wearing white clothes with slightly white temples. After he came to the village, he waved his sleeves. A huge jade stone suddenly stood in the square. Is this a storage ring? Ling Feng noticed that the other party was wearing a ring in his hand. When the jade appeared, the ring flashed. Wind control, storage ring. It seems that this is a world of high martial arts that may be similar to cultivating immortals. Ding! The presence of martial artist is detected near the host, and the transcendent level Invincible Divine King training system is opening. At this time, a voice appeared in Ling Feng's mind. It's the system. Transmigrator's golden thighs. His eyes lit up. System started successfully. Ding! Gift package for newbies is available. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Martial Dao Sacred Body. Ling Feng felt a sudden surge of warmth within his body, and then his limbs gradually became filled with strength. Although nothing could be seen from the outside, earth-shaking changes had taken place inside. Martial Dao Sacred Body, sounds amazing. Are you going to give such a good reward at the beginning? It seems that my system is quite impressive. Ling Feng murmured. This is natural. As a transcendent level Invincible Divine King training system, if you give rewards to so-so, you will be laughed at by other systems. Closing square bracket. The system voice sounded. She sounded like a 7 or 8-year-old girl. The sound of milk is milky. System, how do we get rewards? Ling Feng asked curiously. The system has various ways to obtain rewards. You can get rewards by pretending to be a slap in the face, punishing evil and promoting good, killing monsters, etc. It is about diversity and diversification. In a word, the host can fly with confidence. Closing square bracket. Oh well, Ling Feng was a little doubtful. At this time, the man in white in the square is already testing the bones of the children in the village. One by one, the children walked up to the jade stone and put their palms on it. The jade stone suddenly emitted light of different colors. Mortal bones, next. They are mortal bones again. As expected, there are not many seedlings in this wilderness. The man in white sighed. Soon it was Ling Feng's turn, and he didn't have much hope. But when Ling Feng put his hand on the jade stone, he saw the whole jade stone vibrating, and a golden light rising up to the sky, shooting directly into the sky. The man in white took a breath of air and looked at Ling Feng in shock, as if he couldn't believe it. 10,000 feet of golden light, this is the martial Tao sacred body. He felt a little dizzy. Just now he was a mere mortal with no qualifications to practice martial arts. Why did a martial Tao sacred body suddenly appear? This is too reverse. The villagers looked at the golden light and guessed that Ling Feng was extraordinary. Haha, I told you, this kid Zhaofeng is born extraordinary and will definitely be successful in the future. My vision is indeed right. Okay. Our Lingjia village is also going to have a martial artist. It's amazing. And Ling Feng also quietly retracted his hand. He thought that martial Tao sacred body would cause some movement. But I didn't expect the movement to be so big. Really. Products produced by the system must be of high quality. Ding. When the host detects the root bone, he makes a blockbuster move. Closing square bracket. Reward the host with 1000 supreme grade spiritual stones. Supreme grade spiritual stone. Isn't this something only available in the immortal cultivation world? Ling Feng was a little confused. Lingxi is a product born in a place with abundant spiritual energy. In this world, spiritual energy is rich and martial Tao is developed, so there are also spiritual stones. The system explained. I see, but I don't have any place to hide spiritual stones on my body. If these 1000 spiritual stones suddenly appear, how should I explain it? It's okay, host, the system comes with its own space. As a reward, I will give you the system space first. Next time I will give you a storage ring as a reward, which is convenient to carry. Can I still book the next reward? Is this system serious? Ling Feng blinked, feeling like he was being pampered. Awesome. This little brother, what's your name? The middle-aged man in white stared at Ling Feng with burning eyes. It's like a pervert looking at a stunning beauty. Ling Feng, a good name, I will be like the top of the mountain, and I can see all the small mountains at a glance. The middle-aged man in white praised. Very happy. Why didn't I know that my name had this meaning? Ling Feng, you have outstanding qualifications and shouldn't be buried here. Follow me back to White Cloud Sect. That's where you can show your talents. Ling Feng, thank you sir quickly. At this time, the village chief came up and said quickly. He wants to see Ling Feng stand out more than anyone else. Such a good opportunity is right in front of you, so naturally you don't want to see the other party miss it. Thank you, sir. Ling Feng did not refuse and said with his hand. Okay, I, White Cloud Sect, will have a great talent. The middle-aged man in white looked up to the sky and laughed with joy. After agreeing to join the White Cloud Sect, Ling Feng would leave with the middle-aged man in white the next day. Before leaving, he said a good farewell to the villagers. Village chief, I will definitely come to see you when martial Tao succeeds. When the time comes, I will definitely develop Lingjia village and turn it into Lingjia town or even Lingjia city. Then I will make you the mayor and city lord. Ling Feng said seriously. Okay, I'll wait for that day. The village chief smiled and patted Ling Feng on the shoulder. Xiao Feng, I heard someone say that although becoming a martial artist is a good thing, the journey to martial Tao is also full of unknown risks. You must be careful and plan everything. Be determined and then move. I know the village chief. After saying goodbye to the villagers, Ling Feng left with the middle-aged man in white. By the way, sir, how far is White Cloud Sect? Oh, there is no need to call me sir. I am the elder of White Cloud Sect. My surname is Li. You can call me Elder Li. As for White Cloud Sect, it is about 800 miles away from here. If you are fast on your feet, it can be done in one day. Arrive. 800 miles. One day. Real or fake? Ling Feng was stunned for a moment, but when he thought that Elder Li could control the wind, he suddenly realized that walking 800 miles in a day was nothing if he could fly. Then Ling Feng asked about martial Tao in this world. According to Elder Li, This world is called the Firmament Realm. Martial Tao is divided into 9 realms from weak to strong. Innate, Martial Master, Wu Ling, Wu Zong, Wu Wang, Wu Zun, Martial Saint and Wu Emperor. Each realm has 9 major realms. It is divided into 9 levels. It is said that above the Martial Emperor, one can break the void and reach the upper realm of ascension. But in the sky world, throughout the ages, not many people have been able to do this. The realm of Martial Master is really old-fashioned. Ling Feng complained in his heart. But the next second, he was grabbed by the shoulders by Elder Li. Then the whole thing rose up from the ground and was carried flying. The scenery on both sides was retreating quickly, as fast as taking a high-speed train. Elder Li, at what level of cultivation can I be able to ride the wind like you? Ling Feng asked expectantly. If you want to ride the wind, you must at least reach the level of Martial Master, and I only use Qinggong and Shenfa. If your cultivation reaches the level of martial arts, you can even transform into true Qi wings and truly fly. Then how long does it take to practice to the martial spirit level? Ordinary people will spend at least 10 or even decades, but you are the martial Tao sacred body. I don't think it will take that long, but how long it takes depends on you. After all, this is my first time watching to martial Tao sacred body. Oh, Ling Feng asked no more questions. I am looking forward to the next martial Tao practice. From sunrise, to sunset, to sunrise. Ling Feng, Elder Li finally arrived at the White Cloud sect. This is a sect located in the mountains, surrounded by clouds and fog, and countless buildings are built along the mountains and rivers. It feels like a fairyland. Elder Li led Ling Feng over one mountain after another, and finally came to a golden-domed hall atop a 1,000-foot mountain. Many people gathered together in the main hall and were discussing. The seedling brought back by Elder Wang this time is not bad. He has 9 martial veins and good bones. In time, he will definitely be a martial spirit, or even a strong man at the level of a martial sect. Ha! God bless me White Cloud sect. Everyone looked at a girl in red and admired. Yes, Elder Wang, you did a good job this time. You go to the pill pavilion to get a Shangqing pill. A white-haired old man said with a smile. Elder Wang's face lit up and he said, "Thank you so much, Master." The white-haired old man looked at the girl in red and said with a smile, "Your name is Ji Yu Linglong, right? Are you willing to become my disciple?" Everyone was a little surprised. Unexpectedly, the sect leader actually accepted a disciple himself. At this time, an old man in black robes with gray hair and a childish face walked out. "Sect Master, you are busy with your affairs. I guess you don't have extra time to teach your disciples on weekdays. Why don't you join me as Ji Yu Linglong? I will definitely teach you carefully." Everyone looked at him with obscure eyes. "Great Elder, you have already accepted 4 disciples, all of them are outstanding. It is not easy to find a good seedling. Please don't compete with me." The master of White Cloud sect said lightly. "Yes. Let the sect master accept a disciple. No matter how busy the sect master is, he won't have time to teach his disciples. But you have so many disciples. If there is one more Ji Yu Linglong, how can you teach them by yourself?" Everyone also spoke up to stop the great elder. There was a hint of gloom in the great elder's eyes, but he finally gave up. At this time, Elder Li took Ling Feng into the main hall. Everyone looked at him, quite curious. "Oh, Elder Li is back, and he is bringing someone with him. Is he the disciple he found this time? Let's see." The Elder Wang who found Ji Yu Linglong smiled and said, "Elder Li, where did you find such a little guy? He is wearing coarse clothes and linen. He couldn't find him from some remote village. What can this little guy do? Good qualifications. The disciple I am looking for is definitely better than the one you are looking for." "Haha, Elder Li, what you are saying is a bit arrogant. Do you know what the disciple I have found is? He has 9 martial arts veins and his bones are excellent. He is one of the best in the entire White Cloud sect. Oh, this disciple I found is the best in the entire Great Zhou, not to mention the White Cloud sect." Elder Li smiled lightly, extremely confident. Then he took out the jade stone used to test the root bones and said to Ling Feng, "Xiao Feng, don't be nervous, go up and let everyone see your qualifications." Ling Feng nodded slightly, walked to the jade stone, and put his hand on it. Boom! The jade stone shook, and golden light shot up into the sky. Everyone in the entire hall was shocked by the scene before them. Then they looked at Ling Feng with burning eyes. This is Martial Dao's sacred body. Oh my god, it's actually Martial Dao's sacred body. How is that possible? I, White Cloud Sect, am so virtuous and talented that I can actually obtain a Martial Dao sacred body. Martial Dao sacred body, the strongest qualification for practicing martial arts in the world. The number of times it has appeared in the history of the firmament realm is almost handful. This is no longer uncommon. If 1,000 years is taken as an era, it is not something that can be seen in every era. Little brother, what's your name? The Lord of White Cloud Sect smiled. Little brother, please accept me as your teacher. I am willing to teach you everything I have. Even as long as you accept me as your teacher, I will do my best to teach you alone in the future. The Great Elder said with heavy breathing. The rest of the people were also anxious. Great Elder, don't be joking. You have too many disciples. How can you teach only one person, unless you don't want other disciples? As long as there is Martial Dao sacred body as a disciple, what will happen if the others don't want it? Over time, the sacred body will fully grow and will be famous for generations to come. No, this disciple must be taught by me, the sect leader. Sect master, you have accepted Ji Yu Linglong. This time, this good young talent should be given to us, so don't snatch her away. This is the Martial Dao sacred body, how can I remain indifferent? Everyone was noisy, just like in the vegetable market. In the end, the sect leader had no choice but to say, it seems we can only use the old method. Looking at the noisy elders and clan leader, Elder Wang, who was looking back at Linglong, was stunned, and then looked at the proud Elder Li. You, where did you find this treasure? Haha, in a village. I actually found it from a remote area. Elder Wang was a little envious. They are just outer sect elders, so it is impossible for them to accept Martial Dao sacred body as their disciple, but finding Martial Dao sacred body is a great achievement. If he finds Ji Yu Linglong, he can get a Shangqing pill. And Elder Li found Martial Dao sacred body, giving him 10 is not an exaggeration. The quarreling elders and sect leaders also made a decision at this time. Just do it the old-fashioned way, draw lots. The Lord of White Cloud Sect said. Then they took out a lottery tube. Each lottery in it represented a true elder. In the past, when they encountered such undecidable matters, they would decide by drawing lots, and this time was no exception. Okay, I'll smoke it. The Great Elder came out and said. No, I'll do it. Do you even want to grab a lottery? HMPH, who knows what you might do? You are so cold-blooded for doubting your fellow disciples so much. For the sake of Martial Dao sacred body, I can be a little more cold-blooded. Seeing the elders who were about to quarrel again, the leader of White Cloud Sect shouted coldly, shut up and let Ling Feng do it himself. Everyone looked at Ling Feng. Ling Feng was not afraid of the stage and stepped forward to draw a lottery ticket. There is a name written on the signature. Piao Miao Peak, Lu Rusi. When everyone saw this stick, their faces suddenly darkened. Why is it her? With the 8 true elders, it's not good to pick anyone, but she was chosen. No, let's start again. The elder wanted to take the lottery tube and let Ling Feng draw again. But the master of White Cloud Sect put it away and said calmly, the drawing has ended. Let this child join junior sister Lu's sect. Sect master, no, Lu Rusi's virtue will definitely destroy such a good seedling as Martial Dao sacred body. The Great Elder sternly refused. But the owner of White Cloud Sect has made up his mind. He said to Elder Li, you bring back the Martial Dao sacred body this time, go to the Danyao Pavilion area to get 10 pure purity pills, and take Ling Feng to visit junior sister Lu by the way. Yes, sect master. Ling Feng just left with Elder Li. On the way, Ling Feng asked curiously, Elder Li, who is that Elder Lu? Why doesn't everyone like her appearance? In White Cloud Sect, there are 8 true elders. Elder Lu Rusi is one of them. He has a very high level of cultivation. It is said that he is no less than the sect leader. However, this person is a dissolute man, a gambler, and an alcoholic. Even he himself, some of the medicinal materials grown on the hilltops have been sold out, just in exchange for silver, gambling and buying wine. She even causes trouble outside, which damages the prestige of White Cloud Sect. Therefore, she is notorious in White Cloud Sect, and the most important thing is, this person is a psychopath. Elder Li spoke eloquently. Mental illness. That's right, this person often says that he is the reincarnation of some heavenly immortal and is born invincible in this world. He is crazy. Is it really okay for me to become my teacher? Well, I don't know about this. After all, Elder Lu Rusi doesn't seem to have accepted a disciple yet. Elder Li was also a little unsure. Is it too late to change my master now? It's probably too late. It's usually difficult to change things decided by the sect leader. All right, Ling Feng accepted this fact. They come, the security. Don't worry, host, I'm still here. He seemed to be aware of Ling Feng's uneasy mood. The system spoke to comfort him. Ling Feng felt a little relieved now. After all, he was still a man who had troubles now. Even if his master was unreliable, he could only rely on himself. Soon, Ling Feng came to Piaomiao Peak under the leadership of Elder Li. Looking at the bare mountain in front of him, without even a sparrow, the corner of Ling Feng's mouth twitched. Are you sure this is Piaomiao Peak? Exactly. Piaomiao Feng, such a nice and noble name, why does it look like this? Ling Feng still couldn't believe it. The Piaomiao Peak used to have beautiful scenery, but since Elder Lu moved here, she lost all her money going down the mountain, so she cut down some of the herbs and bamboos grown here and sold them for money. Oh, my master is really supreme grade. The corners of Ling Feng's mouth twitched twice. Elder Li led him to a wooden house, cupped his hands and said, Li Yun, the elder of the outer sect, came to pay homage to Elder Lu and sent you a disciple on the order of the sect leader. After a while no one responded. Isn't it here? Elder Li and Ling Feng looked at each other. At this time, there was a ping-ping-pong-pong sound in the house, and then the wooden house door creaked open, and a strong smell of alcohol hit his nose. I saw a beautiful woman with black hair like a waterfall. Her clothes were half unbuttoned, her head was covered, and her figure was swaying out. He looked drunk. The issue is, it's broad daylight now. Being so drunk in broad daylight. What a rotten drunkard. Elder Li muttered. What did you say? Lu Rusi heard something and her beautiful eyes widened. Elder Li was startled. After all, the other party was a true elder, and his strength and status were above him. He quickly said, I'm sorry, this is Martial Dao Sacred Body Ling Feng. Elder Lu was chosen as my master. Quote. He explained the matter simply. Then he patted Ling Feng on the shoulder, gave him a wishing look, and left immediately with a sway. Lu Rusi and Ling Feng were the only two people left in front of the wooden house, looking at each other. Lu Rusi looked like she hadn't sobered up yet. She looked at Ling Feng with drunken eyes and said, Apprentice. I actually have an apprentice. He, let's do the apprenticeship ceremony first. Ling Feng did not hesitate and knelt down to perform the apprenticeship ceremony. Disciple Ling Feng worshipped Master. Ding. The host successfully worships the White Cloud sect and opens the road to Martial Dao. In order to facilitate his future travels in the world, the host is specially rewarded with a transcendent level storage ring. A black ring suddenly appeared on Ling Feng's finger. Before he could figure out how to use the storage ring, Lu Rusi in front of him suddenly made a thud and fell to the ground. Master. Ling Feng hurried up to take a look. But Lu Rusi was seen snoring and had fallen asleep. Ling Feng held his forehead, looking helpless. Now we can't let Master just lie outside like this. Although men and women are not intimate, this is my master, so there shouldn't be any problem. Master is offended. Ling Feng murmured, and then a princess hugged Lu Rusi. Although he is only 14 years old now, after being transformed by Martial Dao Sacred Body, his strength is much stronger than that of ordinary people. It is not a problem to pick up Lu Rusi. Looking at Lu Rusi sleeping peacefully, Ling Feng was stunned for a moment. Have to say, although this master is unreliable, he is still extremely beautiful, with long eyebrows, red lips, a high nose, and white and delicate skin. Her long black hair is like a waterfall, smooth and shiny. With this face, Ling Feng felt that he could reluctantly accept this unreliable master. After all, who is not a face controller? Taking Lu Rusi into the room, a stronger smell of alcohol came. I saw 7 or 8 wine jars rolling on the ground. Ling Feng placed Lu Rusi on the couch and didn't know what to do next. He glanced at the messy wooden house. He took a deep breath, then stood up and started cleaning. After all, This is where he lives. Master can be sloppy and not clean. He can't collect the wine jars one by one and put them outside. Then organize the clothes, cupboards, sweep the floor, mop the floor. Ling Feng's busy figure was active around the wooden house. After a while, he wiped the sweat from his forehead and said, I didn't expect that this wooden house doesn't look big from the outside, but the internal space is quite large. It can't accommodate 7 or 8 people. Question. After finishing cleaning, Ling Feng sat aside to rest. Ding. It is detected that the host has just completed a general cleaning. Woo woo woo, host has worked hard. I will reward the host with a skill map. An ancient parchment suddenly appeared in Ling Feng's mind. There are also various mysterious runes on the parchment scrolls. Skill map. What is this? Ling Feng was a little curious. The skill map can specify a target and randomly select a skill on the target. So smart. Ling Feng was a little surprised, and then looked at Lu Rusi who was sleeping beside him. Although the other party looks unreliable, he is still the true elder of White Cloud sect. He is not bad in strength and must have a lot of skills. Thinking of this, he took out the skill map for Lu Rusi. Use. Skill map in use. The skills on the target are being randomly selected. Closing square bracket. Congratulations to the host for drawing the transparent sword heart. Ling Feng felt a strange force suddenly surge out of his body. My mind has become much clearer. Transparent sword heart. It sounds very high-end. The transparent sword heart is a powerful talent for swordsmanship. A martial artist with a transparent sword heart can master various sword techniques in a short period of time, draw inferences from one example, and even innovate and improve the integrated union sword technique. The system explained. Isn't this just a kendo cheat? I didn't expect Master to have such awesome coaxing skills. Ling Feng glanced at Lu Rusi unexpectedly. It stands to reason that Lu Rusi, who has such skills, is very likely to become the leader of swordsmanship in the world and enjoy the admiration of millions of people. But she didn't. Instead, he became what everyone called a gambler and a drunkard. Why did the other party become like this? Lu Rusi has become mysterious in Ling Feng's mind. Gulu. At this time, Ling Feng's stomach began to growl. He is hungry. Looking at the kitchen in the wooden house, except for some rice on the rice vat, there is nothing else, such as vegetables or meat. You can't go hungry. When you came to the mountain just now, you saw a river. Let's go catch some fish and dig some wild vegetables. Ling Feng murmured, jogging all the way to the edge of the river. The water in the river was clear. He picked up the water and took a sip. It was also clear and sweet. It is indeed the residence of the martial artist sect. It is really full of outstanding people. Even the river water is so delicious. I will use this water for cooking later. He smiled and looked at the fish swimming in the river. Pulling up his trousers and sleeves, he tiptoed into the water, and then pounced towards the swimming fish. There was a splash and water splashed. Not only did Ling Feng's clothes get wet, he didn't catch any fish. He didn't give up and continued to work hard. But no fish was caught more than 10 times in a row. Is my method wrong? Ling Feng touched his chin, then looked at the branches on the shore, his eyes lit up. Yes. He jogged ashore. Then he picked up a relatively handy branch and took out a knife. This was a kitchen knife taken from the kitchen of the wooden house, just in case of emergency. Just came in handy. Use a knife to sharpen one end of the branch. A simple harpoon is ready. Holding the harpoon, Ling Feng plunged into the water again with confidence. He took a deep breath, his eyes became sharp, staring closely at the approaching fish around him, and then thrust out fiercely. Whoosh! The harpoon hit a fish. Ling Feng's face lit up, he took off the fish and threw it to the shore. Then he followed the same pattern and caught a few more fish. Ding! It is detected that the host has caught fish through its own efforts and continues to strive for self-improvement, which makes the system feel gratified and rewards the host with master-level cooking skills. A lot of cooking skills suddenly came to Ling Feng's mind. Fry, steam, stew and barbecue. Looking at the fish on the ground, dozens of ways of doing it instantly came to his mind. It's a pity that there don't seem to be many spices in the kitchen. Ling Feng murmured. Then I collected the fish and planned to go to the foot of the mountain to pick some wild vegetables. After picking wild vegetables, he became even hungrier. Ding! After detecting that the host has picked wild vegetables, he is really a hard-working young man, and the host is rewarded with a set of master seasonings. Ling Feng blinked. Is this okay? Return to the cabin and start cooking. Not a moment. A burst of aroma came from the kitchen. Lu Rusi, who was sleeping, couldn't help but sit up when he smelled the aroma. Her hair was disheveled and she looked around in confusion. Is this still my home? Why did it suddenly become so clean? Looking at Ling Feng, who was busy not far away, Lu Rusi was even more confused. Who is this? Why is there anyone else in her home? Hey, master, you're awake. It's time to get up and eat. Ling Feng smiled and brought the last dish to the table. It was a plate of braised fish. The color is fragrant and attractive, and the fragrance is fragrant. Lu Rusi couldn't help but sip his saliva, then frowned and asked, Who are you and why do you call me master? Why are you here? Ling Feng was also stunned. Why did this master suddenly turn his back on me? Master, I, Ling Feng, am your new disciple. Ling Feng explained the cause and effect again. After listening to Lu Rusi, some pictures came to mind. It seems, he really took on a disciple. I really made a mistake while drinking. I got a disciple here without knowing anything. Lu Rusi scratched his head in anger. She looked at Ling Feng and said, Let me agree first, I won't accept any disciples. What about the martial Dao sacred body? I am reincarnated as an immortal. How can I be so rare? Tomorrow I will go to the sect master and ask him to take you away. You go and worship. Come into his door. Become the disciple of the sect master. Looks good too. But Elder Li said that things decided by the sect leader would not be changed easily. He is not sure whether Lu Rusi can make it. Let's not talk about this for now, master, let's eat first. Well, you cooked all these dishes. Did you also clean up the house? Lu Rusi glanced at Ling Feng curiously. Ling Feng looked around. Besides master and me, is there anyone else here? Quite diligent, Lu Rusi murmured and started eating. He picked up a piece of fish with chopsticks and put it into his mouth. The next second, her beautiful eyes widened, with a look of shock on her face. This is delicious. She looked at the food in front of her with bright eyes, and put chopsticks into her mouth, one chopstick after another. Ling Feng watched from the side, and immediately became a little anxious. He is still hungry. He also quickly joined the army. Hey, master, that fish head was the first thing I took a fancy to. Whoever gets caught first. Hey, you kid, do you know how to respect your elders? You have such a big fish all to yourself. I have to fill my stomach first before I have the strength to honor you. After finishing the meal, Lu Rusi was lying on a chair, holding a fish bone in his hand and picking his teeth. He looked at Ling Feng and couldn't help showing a hint of admiration in his eyes. My dear disciple, I didn't expect you to be good at cooking. I don't know how long it has been since I had a decent meal. After speaking, there was a hint of self-deprecation in her eyes. Ling Feng on the side didn't notice and just rolled his eyes. Just now I said I wanted to take myself back. Are you calling me a good disciple now? Ah, a fickle woman. Ding. It is said that if you want to catch a person, you must catch her stomach. Congratulations to the host for gaining Lu Rusi's favor through his superb cooking skills and getting Lu Rusi's favorability critical hit reward. Closing square bracket. Favorability critical hit. What kind of weird reward is this? Then, Ling Feng noticed that Lu Rusi was looking at him with more and more affectionate eyes, and he suddenly realized that this was the degree of favorability. Good disciple. You are hardworking and good at cooking. Although I don't want to accept you as a disciple, I reluctantly accept you this time. Then I really appreciate master's magnanimity. Ling Feng curled his lips. You're welcome. Lu Rusi took out another classic book and threw it to Ling Feng and said, Your master, I am a swordsman. This Xiaoyao sword art is the first-class swordsmanship in the world. Take it and practice it carefully. Come back if you don't understand anything. After saying that, she stood up, stretched and walked down the mountain. Master, what are you going to do? Go buy a drink. After Lu Rusi finished speaking, his figure turned into a stream of light. Vaguely, Ling Feng seemed to see a pair of wings sprouting from the other person's back. The speed is many times faster than Elder Li. Is this the true Qi transformation wing that Elder Li said? It's amazing. Master's cultivation level is at least martial spirit, No, but martial sect. Ling Feng thought to himself, and then began to look through the sword manual in his hand. Xiaoyao Sword Technique. This is a book that can be used both internally and externally. Ne refers to internal strength. Outside refers to swordsmanship. Ling Feng flipped through it a few times. Under the blessing of the transparent sword heart, he quickly understood the essentials of this swordsmanship, and he began to make gestures on the spot. Pick up a branch from the ground without a sword. Gradually, the more he practiced, the better he got, and his whole body was immersed in the sword manual. As he moved, the branch in his hand seemed to turn into a sharp sword, sending out a sharp sword intent and forming numerous afterimages in the air. This practice lasts only one afternoon. From daytime to sunset. Ling Feng was sweating profusely, but he felt more relaxed than ever before. True Qi was born in the body. Successfully entered the first realm of martial Dao, postnatal realm. Ding! It is detected that the host has successfully promoted to the postnatal realm. This is the first step on the path of the host martial Dao, but it is a big step for all realms. Because, the future transcendent level invincible divine king has begun to rise. To commemorate this moment, the host will be awarded a talent draw. Closing square bracket. The system's voice sounded, and the other party seemed a little excited. Hearing its words, Ling Feng couldn't help but feel a little ashamed. What a first step, a big step, the future transcendent level invincible divine king. How could he be so powerful? Although it is good for this system to praise people, it is too exaggerated. But then he was attracted by the reward. The lottery sounds interesting. System, use talent draw. Okay. Ling Feng only saw a huge turntable in front of him. There are small grids on the turntable, and there are various talents in them. 10 times the power, 10 times speed. Breathe and become stronger. Telepathy. Being in the sun will make you stronger. Eye of detection. Elementary self-healing. High-level self-healing. Glaring at so-and-so for being pregnant. Ling Feng was dazzled by the various talents. Some talents seemed quite normal, but some talents made the corners of Ling Feng's mouth twitch unconsciously. Breathing becomes stronger. Will you become stronger by being in the sun? And the one who stares at someone who is pregnant. What the hell? Is it possible to have such an outrageous talent? Start lottery. I saw the turntable spinning rapidly, crossing 10 times the strength, 10 times the talent, becoming stronger after crossing the breath, elementary self-healing. Ling Feng stared at the turntable. The talent he wanted most was the high-level self-healing. This is a life-saving skill. With this ability, you won't be afraid of getting hurt in the future. But unfortunately, the carousel turned past the high-level self-healing, and finally stopped in the small grid next to the one staring at so-and-so's pregnancy. Ling Feng broke into a cold sweat. If he really got this weird talent, he would have to live with his eyes closed from now on. Ding! Congratulations to the host for getting the talent, Infinite Charm. Closing square bracket. Infinite Charm can improve the host's charm, and as the age increases, the host's charm can also continue to improve, and can even reach the point where it can conquer powerful enemies from all sides with its own charm, and people can't help but follow it. Closing square bracket. What an amazing ability. Ling Feng's eyes lit up. He ran into the cabin and looked in a mirror. The facial features have not changed much, they are still as delicate and handsome. But there is an indescribable charm between the eyebrows. This kind of charm cannot be achieved even with 999 layers of beauty filters. Handsome, so handsome, as expected of a host. Closing square bracket. The system provides timely encouragement. This system. He likes. Ling Feng smiled slightly, then left the wooden house, picked up branches on the ground, and continued to practice his sword. The sword shadows appeared one after another, free and easy. Before he knew it, Lu Rusi had come back. Looking at Ling Feng practicing his sword under the sunset, he couldn't help but nod secretly, quite hard work. But then, she discovered something and gradually opened her mouth. Postnatal realm. Is this how martial Dao got started? It's only been one afternoon, and with this Xiaoyao swordsmanship, he's actually so proficient, what a genius. Lu Rusi is convinced that it would take at least 7 or 8 years for an ordinary martial artist to practice Xiaoyao sword technique to reach Ling Feng's current level. But now, the other party has reached such a state in one afternoon. Also crossed into the postnatal realm. Even the martial Tao sacred body is a bit too exaggerated. This is almost as good as the reincarnation of an immortal like me. Lu Rusi muttered. At this time, Ling Feng stopped and wiped the sweat from his forehead. When I saw Lu Rusi coming back, my eyes lit up and I ran up. Looking at Ling Feng, who was getting closer, and looking at his delicate and slightly immature face, Lu Rusi couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. After not seeing each other this afternoon, something seemed to have changed about the other party. Has this appearance skyrocketed by more than 10 points? It's not right. Nothing has changed. Master, you are back. Well, I also bought some vegetables. You can go ahead and cook. Lu Rusi waved her sleeves and took out several vegetable baskets filled with fish, meat and vegetables from the storage ring. She couldn't help but look forward to the meal she had for lunch today. It happened that Ling Feng had practiced by himself all afternoon and was a little hungry. He took the vegetable basket and went to work in the kitchen. Looking at his figure, Lu Rusi felt as if he had not accepted an apprentice, but a virtuous child foster husband. Snapped. Lu Rusi slapped herself and said angrily, Lu Rusi, what are you thinking about? I'm still a child. But looking at the other person busy in the kitchen, Lu Rusi couldn't help but have a soft smile on his face. This Piao Peak, which has always been deserted and lonely, now also has the atmosphere of fireworks. This feeling isn't bad. Soon, Ling Feng then cooked the dishes bought by Lu Rusi into a table of delicious dishes. Lu Rusi took a bite of the dish and put it in his mouth to chew, then quickly took a few more bites, his eyebrows arched, and his face looked happy. It's delicious, it's delicious. If Ling Feng could see the favorability level, then Lu Rusi's head should be favorability +1, favorability +1, favorability +2. During the meal, Lu Rusi took out a wine jar and drank while eating vegetables, while Ling Feng looked at the wine jar with some curiosity. He has not yet tasted the wine of this world. Want to drink? Lu Rusi smiled slightly. Ling Feng hesitated for a moment, then nodded, I think so. Ha, you little guy, you haven't even grown your hair yet, but you just want to imitate others drinking. Well, it's not impossible, but you can only take a small sip. Lu Rusi poured half a bowl for Ling Feng. Ling Feng took it and his face turned red. This bowl seems to be what Master used just now. If he uses it again, does it count as an indirect kiss? Looking at the faint lip prints on the edge of the bowl, he changed his position and took a sip. It was not as spicy as expected, but had a strong fruity aroma. It's more like some fruit wine he often drank in his previous life. Ding! It is detected that the host has the courage to try and drink for the first time, and the host will be rewarded for not getting drunk after 1,000 drinks. When it comes to drinking, I would like to respect the host as the strongest. Closing square bracket. You won't get drunk even if you drink 1,000 cups. Ling Feng looked at the wine jar in Lu Rusi's hand with fiery eyes. Oh, he's a natural drinker. Lu Rusi chuckled lightly and poured another large bowl for Ling Feng. This time Ling Feng is welcome. He took a few sips and drank the wine in one gulp. Then he looked at Lu Rusi, with 2 words written all over his face. Pour the wine. Lu Rusi raised his eyebrows. Although Tianquanville's Beguonian is not a strong drink, this little guy drank a big bowl of it for the first time, and his face didn't turn red. Could it be that he is really a natural-born drinker? Drunkard. She felt that Ling Feng was becoming more and more to her taste. Good. We, master and apprentice, will have a good drink today. Lu Rusi took out another jar of wine. One altar with Ling Feng. The two of them ate and drank. After the food was finished, they drank wine. The more Lu Rusi drank, the more energetic he became. Looking at Ling Feng across from him, he felt unyielding and said, I have been in the wine world for more than 10 years. If I can't drink a little brat who is drinking for the first time, wouldn't it spread out? What a joke. 1 altar, 2 altars, 3 altars. Soon, the table was filled with 5 or 6 wine jars. Junior Sister Lu, how are you getting along with your apprentice? At this time, the leader of White Cloud sect came with people to check on Ling Feng's condition. The door opened. I saw 2 people having a drink together. Ling Feng was holding a wine jar bigger than his head and pouring wine. Seeing this scene, several people were stunned for a moment. The owner of White Cloud sect immediately became furious. What nonsense! Lu Rusi also noticed the arrival of several people and put the wine jar on the table. He didn't pay attention to the anger of the White Cloud sect master and said with a smile, "Hey, it's a few senior brothers and sisters. They arrived just in time. Do you want to drink some together?" Quote. Lu Rusi, be more serious. The leader of White Cloud sect suppressed his anger and said, "Lingfeng is still a child. Are you bringing your child to drink here? It's so ridiculous. What if something goes wrong with drinking? Isn't he a martial Dao sacred body? It's so easy to have problems with drinking. No matter what, your behavior is not like a teacher at all. How can you expect me to trust Lingfeng to you like this? Then take it back. You stuffed it in anyway." Lu Rusi shrugged. He looks like a dead pig who is not afraid of boiling water. Sect master, I just told Lu Rusi to teach this child. There will definitely be problems. We can't let Lingfeng fall with her. Yes, leave Lingfeng to me, I will definitely teach him well. Leave it to me, let me do it, and I will teach you everything I have. The elders were vying to be Lingfeng's master again. Lu Rusi looked on and curled his lips. Although there was nothing on the surface, there was something vaguely unpleasant inside. Are you guys worthy of being the masters of the martial Dao sacred body? She couldn't help but laugh out loud. When the elders heard this, they glared at her fiercely. No matter what, it's better than you leading Lingfeng to drink. Lingfeng, how are you? Are you okay? Are you dizzy or not? At this time, an elder walked up to Lingfeng and asked with concern. Lingfeng has the talent of never getting drunk after 1,000 cups. Apart from his face looking a little red, there is nothing serious and his mind is very clear. He cupped his hands and said, "Sect master, the elders have misunderstood master. It was not master who led me to drink. It was me who was curious and wanted to drink." Oh, what a good boy. At this point, he is still defending his master and maintaining his reputation. Yes, Lu Rusi, look at you, and look at Lingfeng, don't you feel a little bit ashamed in your heart? No one believed what Lingfeng said. On the contrary, I feel more and more distressed that this child is too sensible. He must have suffered a lot since childhood to be so precocious and know how to be so worldly. Cut. Lu Rusi rolled his eyes and had no interest in explaining. Everyone, what I said is true. I really don't blame the master. I wanted to drink it myself. Also, the master has been very dedicated to me. She also taught me a set of sword skills today. I can demonstrate it. It's for you to see. Lingfeng said quickly. Everyone looked at each other. Is it true? What sword skills did junior sister Lu teach you? Xiaoyao sword art, Lingfeng said, then walked outside the house and picked up a branch to practice. Under the moonlight, Lingfeng held the branch like a sword and swung it freely, and suddenly the shadows of the swords appeared one after another, like an immortal under the moon, which made people look mesmerized. What a guy. It only took one day to reach this far. This Xiaoyao sword technique is a first-class martial arts. Ordinary people without 7 or 8 years of practice will never be able to practice it to this extent. Even the martial Dao sacred body is a bit too exaggerated. It seems that junior sister Lu really tried her best to guide Lingfeng. Coupled with Lingfeng's own talent, she made such an advance in just one day. Thinking of this, everyone became less angry with Lu Rusi. Lu Rusi on the side blushed a little. This Xiaoyao sword technique was definitely given to me by her. But she just threw a sword manual to the other party and didn't teach it at all. The other party's ability to practice to this point was all due to his own thinking. Lu Rusi, for the sake of your dedication to teaching Lingfeng, I won't argue with you this time. But Lingfeng is still a child after all, and he is still growing. Drink less alcohol, you know. White Cloud sect master, he said in a gentle tone. No, Lu Rusi said with a sad expression. The owners of White Cloud sect ignored her and left after giving Lingfeng a few words. At Piaomiao Peak, only Lu Rusi and Lingfeng were left. Actually, it might be better if you change your master. They are right, I am just a drunkard and gambler. I may not be able to teach you well. Lu Rusi laughed at himself. I believe in master. I don't believe in myself, why do you believe in me? Lingfeng frowned, thought for a while, and said, Master has an advantage as a sect leader, which is incomparable to the elders. Oh, what's the advantage? Master is extremely beautiful. I feel comfortable looking at him. I am in a happy mood and can practice martial arts with twice the result with half the effort. Ling Feng said seriously. Hearing this, Lu Rusi was stunned for a moment, and then his face turned red. You are such a slippery boy. You have learned to speak glibly at a young age. It's not glib talk, it's all from the bottom of my heart. You really are. Lu Rusi hugged Ling Feng and rubbed her in her arms. You're so cute, my dear disciple, why are you so cute? Master, let go quickly, I can't breathe anymore. Ling Feng's face was stuffed into a pair of peaks, and the smell of milk mixed with alcohol hit his face along with a sense of suffocation, making it difficult for him to breathe. Evil, so evil. More than 10 days have passed since Ling Feng stayed at Piaomiao Peak. These days, Lu Rusi occasionally taught him some sword skills, but without exception, he learned them all easily. This convinced Lu Rusi that the other party not only possessed a martial Dao sacred body, but also had a rare transparent sword heart just like him. Only in this way can one master various sword techniques so easily. Looking at Ling Feng practicing his sword under the tree, Lu Rusi couldn't help but admire. Martial Dao sacred body, transparent sword heart, Zhao Feng's aptitude is really unparalleled in the world. She couldn't help but feel a little proud. Such an incredible genius is her apprentice. 3 pulls in the sun. Ling Feng stopped practicing his sword and was about to cook. Now, he has taken care of the food at Piaomiao Peak by himself. Although, there are only 2 people in this Piaomiao Peak. Lu Rusi didn't know how to cook, so Ling Feng didn't want to starve to death, so she had to do it all. Fortunately, although Lu Rusi can't cook, he can cook, and every time he cooks, he will buy a bunch of vegetables first. Otherwise, Ling Feng really wouldn't be able to find much on Piaomiao Peak. Ingredients are available. You can't eat fish every day. After dinner, finished washing the dishes. Night, Lu Rusi picked his teeth and said, Xiao Feng, your talent is very good. Next, I plan to teach you the real martial arts of Piaomiao Feng. Ah, so what I've been practicing these days are all fake. Ling Feng blinked. That's not true. The swordsmanship you practiced is indeed first-class swordsmanship in the world of Dajo, but it is not the true inheritance of Piaomiao Peak. Lu Rusi took out a classic and handed it to Ling Feng. Ling Feng took it and found that the ink marks on it were not completely dry. Master, you probably copied this secret book overnight, right? Ahem, what are you talking nonsense about? Lu Rusi blushed, slapped Ling Feng on the head, and then said with a straight face, this technique is very powerful, you must practice it well. Nu. Ling Feng looked at the book in his hand, and there were 6 big characters written on it. Piaomiao Wushuang Sword Code. The handwriting is crooked. It seems that my master's calligraphy is not very good. That night, Ling Feng started practicing in his room. Piaomiao Wushuang Sword Manual. This technique is divided into 2 parts. The first part is to practice True Chi's inner strength and mental method. The second part is swordsmanship. But when Ling Feng turned to sword art, there was only 1 line on it. Piaomiao Wushuang can do as he pleases. He insists that all swords remain within his clan, and all swords are for my use. Therefore, there is no sword technique of his own in the Piaomiao Sword Code. Other swordsmanship is our swordsmanship. Ling Feng blinked. Can it still be like this? He didn't think much and started practicing the Piaomiao Sword Code. With his talent of martial Dao sacred body and transparent sword heart, it is not difficult to practice this sword code, and the spiritual energy around him quickly gathers towards him. The strands of spiritual energy were refined by him into misty true Qi. Most of the night passed. True Qi in Ling Feng's body has reached a bottleneck. It's just 1 step away from innate. System, is there any way to speed up the practice? Ling Feng was a little dissatisfied. I have been practicing for more than 10 days, but I still haven't broken through innate. He was promoted to postnatal realm in 1 day. He thought he would be able to advance to innate in a few days. It seems that the road to martial Dao is not that easy even with sacred body. Don't the host have 1,000 supreme grade spirit stones? Using the spirit stones can speed up the practice. The host can give it a try. Ling Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. Yes, I almost forgot about this. He took out a spiritual stone from the storage ring. This spiritual stone was the size of a palm, like a golden gemstone, and it contained strong spiritual energy. He immediately put it in the palm of his hand and started to use his technique. The spiritual energy in the spirit stone quickly surged towards his body. There was a click. It seemed as if some bottleneck in my body had broken. Ling Feng breaks through innate in one fell swoop. Until daylight, the spirit energy of the spirit stone in Ling Feng's hand has been completely absorbed. The golden spirit stone turned into a white stone, which looked just like the stones that can be seen everywhere on the roadside. This spirit stone is really useful. Ling Feng waved his fist. I feel that my strength is much stronger. Ding, it is detected that the host has successfully broken through to the innate realm, and the host will be rewarded with a talent draw. Closing square bracket. Another talent draw. Ling Feng's eyes lit up. Use your talent to draw a lottery. The previous carousel appeared in front of him again. There were 20 or 30 kinds of talents on it, some of which were the same as last time. For example, staring at so-and-so for being pregnant. The corner of Ling Feng's mouth twitched. I hope I won't get it. With a thought, the turntable began to rotate. Not a moment. The pointer stops on a small black grid. This grid occupies the smallest proportion on the turntable and should be the most precious talent on the turntable. Congratulations to the host for successfully extracting the talent, the art of detection. Closing square bracket. Suddenly, a lot of information about the art of scrying emerged in Ling Feng's mind. Scrying. As the name suggests, it is a talent used to detect information. As for how much information can be detected, it depends on Ling Feng's own cultivation level. It seems pretty good. Ling Feng had a thought in his mind, looked at the table in front of him, and cast his detection technique. A line of information suddenly appeared in front of him. An ordinary table. Well, I can see it without scrying. Look at the stone in your hand again. A supreme grade spiritual stone with exhausted spiritual energy. Ling Feng saw the room and kept using the detection technique. A weathered wooden door. A small grass growing wildly. A chipped bull. A 3-day-old grasshopper. A wine jar that once contained baguojong. All kinds of information emerged in front of him. Ling Feng found it interesting. Everything in the world seemed to have no secrets in front of him. This detection technique is so powerful. Xiao Feng, what are you having for breakfast today? At this time, a yawning sound came, but Lu Rusi also got up, and Ling Feng looked over. True qi is rapidly depleted in the body. At the same time, Lu Rusi's information also appeared in front of him. Lu Rusi, the true elder of White Cloud sect, the #1 sword cultivator in the Great Zhou dynasty, the reincarnation of an immortal in the sky. What is his cultivation level? Kung Fu. As a person. Closing square bracket. There was some information that could not be discovered for the time being due to Ling Feng's cultivation issues, but just what had been discovered made Ling Feng stunned. He thought that his master had some abilities. But I didn't expect such great ability. The #1 sword cultivator in the Great Zhou dynasty. In the sky world, there are 7 dynasties. Dazhou is one of them, and Dazhou has a vast territory. White Cloud sect is one of many sects. Although its background is not bad, it is not the #1 in Dazhou. At most, it's in the top 10 of the big week. But his master is actually the #1 in the Great Zhou dynasty. Be good. Ridiculous. Also, what the hell is the reincarnation of an immortal in the sky? Are there really immortals? My master is not a psychopath as others say. But why did such an outstanding master degenerate into a drunkard and a gambler in the eyes of others? Lu Rusi is becoming more and more mysterious in Ling Feng's eyes. And Lu Rusi also discovered something. His eyes lit up when he saw Ling Feng. He stepped forward and grabbed his wrist, and then smiled brightly. Oh, yes, you can break through innate. Well, you are worthy of being my disciple. Come on, I won't cook today. I will take you to have a nice meal. Let's go, my master will take you to have a nice meal. Lu Rusi laughed. Then he grabbed Ling Feng, lifted him up, and jumped up. Ling Feng felt that the scenery on both sides was retreating rapidly. In just a few blinks, he and Lu Rusi had arrived at the bottom of the mountain. This speed is many times faster than Elder Li. The two went down the mountain and came to a nearby city. The city is called Yancheng. It was one of the most important cities in the Great Zhou dynasty, with an endless flow of trade. There are a large number of shops and restaurants on both sides of the street, many of which sell various weapons, armors and the like. The martial arts of the Great Zhou dynasty was very popular, and the control of weapons was not strict. On the street, many people are wearing swords and hanging knives. There are even some people wearing armor and walking through it in a grand manner. It was the first time for Ling Feng to come to such a big city. He looked around at the freshness, just like Grandma Lu when she entered the Grand View Garden. Upon seeing this, Lu Rusi smiled slightly and slowed down, giving Ling Feng enough time to catch up. Less than half an hour later, the two came to a restaurant. There is a golden plaque hanging in the restaurant, with 4 big characters written on it. Tianquan Villa. Ling Feng was a little curious. Master, this is obviously a restaurant, why is it called Tianquan Villa? Tianquan Villa, and even the famous forces in the world of Great Zhou, specialize in various businesses, restaurants, weapons, tea, cloth, etc., and these industries are collectively called Tianquan Villa. I see. Lu Rusi took him in and found a seat by the window. The people here seemed to be familiar with her and immediately greeted her. Elder Lu, how much wine do you need to buy today? Don't buy wine today, let's eat. If you have any delicious food, bring it to me. Lu Rusi said grandly. The waiter was stunned for a moment. In the past, Lu Rusi only bought wine and never ate here. Why did you change your gender today? Look at Ling Feng next to him. Is it because of this guy? He didn't ask any questions and immediately ordered the food to be served. The food is served very quickly. After a while, the table was filled with a dazzling array of dishes. Babao duck, 6 sea meatballs, steamed sea bass, braised lion head, braised chicken with dried bamboo shoots, stir-fried meat with garlic sprouts, 9-turn large intestine, fried diced chicken in sauce. Ling Feng was dazzled and said, Master, there are too many. As a martial artist, I must have a big appetite, so let me eat as much as I want. Gulu. Ling Feng's stomach just happened to be hungry. He was no longer reserved, picked up his chopsticks, and started eating. Watching him devouring his food, Lu Rusi smiled fondly, and then started to eat, but after taking 2 bites, he frowned. This is not as delicious as the one made by my apprentice. She muttered. The waiter who came to serve the food happened to hear this and was a little unhappy, but he didn't get angry. He just couldn't help but complain when he returned to the kitchen. Elder Lu can't do anything else but brag. What kind of good food can a bad gambler eat? I hired the best cook in dojo in Tianquan Villa. Who is her apprentice? She dares to say that she can cook better than us. Is the chef good? Who said cooking tastes better than me? At this time, the chef who was serving the dishes was unhappy. He rushed up, grabbed the waiter by the collar, and said fiercely, You just said that someone belittled my cooking skills. Who was it? Zhang, Chef Zhang, is Lu Rusi of White Cloud sect. She said that the food cooked by her apprentice is more delicious than yours. The waiter said. Okay, I want to go and see who her apprentice is. Chef Zhang snorted coldly. He has been cooking for more than 20 years, and even served as a chef in the palace. Anyone who eats the dishes he cooks will give a thumbs up. No one has ever dared to say that his cooking skills are inferior to others. He wanted to see this person today. Inside the restaurant, Ling Feng is devouring it. After being promoted to innate, he found that his appetite had indeed increased a lot. Most of the dozen or so dishes on the table went into his mouth. However, Lu Rusi, who used to compete with him at the dinner table, didn't eat much today. He looked uninterested. Ling Feng asked curiously, Master, do you have a bad appetite? No. Lu Rusi shook his head and said, Xiao Feng, from now on we should buy groceries and go back to Piaomiao Peak to cook them ourselves. Master, it's you who eats it, and it's you who cook it. Are you so fickle? Ling Feng said helplessly. Oh, there's nothing I can do about it, someone's mouth is spoiled by someone. Lu Rusi smiled. This does no harm without contrast. She never expected that her apprentice's cooking skills were so outstanding that he could not even compare with the chefs at Tianquan Villa. Say, which of you is Lu Rusi? At this time, a loud voice sounded, and everyone looked around and saw Chef Zhang, with a big belly and a frying spoon in his hand, walking out of the kitchen. Ling Feng, Lu Rusi was stunned for a moment. Who is this? When everyone heard Lu Rusi's name, they all looked at her. Chef Zhang noticed her immediately and rushed towards her. Although the other party was extremely beautiful, he couldn't help but get angry when he thought of her belittling his cooking skills. You're the one belittling my cooking. I do not have it. You said my cooking is not as good as your apprentice's, right? Oh, I think I have said that before. Lu Rusi tilted his head and thought for a moment. He had indeed muttered something just now. Unexpectedly, someone actually listened to him. But she dared to take it personally and did not deny it. Okay, isn't this derogatory? Is this belittling? I'm just telling the truth. Okay, let your apprentice come out and compete with me. I, Zhang, have been in charge for so many years and I have never met an opponent. My dear disciple, this man wants to compete with you in cooking. Why don't you give it a try? Lu Rusi smiled slightly at Ling Feng. Everyone looked at it and couldn't help but be stunned. Chef Zhang's face turned livid. Is this person her apprentice? Are you kidding? What kind of cooking skills can a little kid have? Has he been in the kitchen? Humph, Chef Zhang is the chef of Tianquan Villa. He has hosted banquets for countless dignitaries in his life. To actually say that his cooking skills are not as good as such a little kid, Lu Rusi is really insulting. Everyone was a little angry for Chef Zhang. Chef Zhang's face was also livid. Okay, you Lu Rusi, how dare you insult me like this? How did I insult you? Are you out of your mind? Lu Rusi looked at Chef Zhang like a fool. Is it wrong for me to tell the truth? Master, why don't we forget it and let's go back first? You're not allowed to leave. If you don't give me an explanation today, neither of you two will be able to leave. Chef Zhang said angrily. Lu Rusi's eyes showed a cold light. Okay, no one can keep me this week, let's see if I don't demolish this Tianquan villa. She's not someone to be trifled with either. It doesn't matter to her if others call her a drunkard or a gambler. It's just words, but if you really dare to offend her, I, the Emperor, will not give you face. Wait a minute, Master, calm down and calm down. Ling Feng hurriedly went up to comfort Lu Rusi, and then said to Chef Zhang, let's do this, I will compete with you, but how? It's simple, you and I each cook 3 dishes and see who cooks the best. Chef Zhang wants to compete with others in cooking. This spread in the Tianquan Villa restaurant. When everyone saw that the person who was going to compete with the opponent was just a young boy of 13 or 14 years old, they couldn't help but be stunned. Then he laughed, as if he were watching a show. This kid wants to compete with Chef Zhang on his cooking skills. I'm laughing so hard. Haha, I'm afraid I haven't even been in the kitchen. Don't laugh. For such a young child, he is very good at cooking. He is nothing like my child who just knows how to mess around all day long. Under the attention of everyone, Ling Feng and Chef Zhang came to the kitchen. In order to prevent cheating or being influenced, the other chefs had already left first. At this time, only Chef Zhang and Ling Feng were left in the kitchen. Boy, don't say I'm bullying you, tell me your 3 best dishes. I'm good at a lot of dishes. Ling Feng smiled and glanced at the kitchen. I found that there are a lot of ingredients here, almost all of them are swimming in the water, running on the ground, and flying in the sky. It is worthy of being a restaurant in Tianquan Villa. How about we compare fried clams, 8 treasure duck and braised shrimp segments? Chef Zhang said calmly. No problem. Ling Feng nodded. Chef Zhang glanced at him suspiciously. Is this kid really good at cooking? The two began to prepare materials. When watching Ling Feng's clean and neat deboning technique when handling the duck, Chef Zhang's pupils shrank slightly. Good knife skills, good technique. This kid has real skills. He started too. While doing this, he paid attention to Ling Feng on the opposite side. The more you look at it, the more solemn it becomes. The other party's knife skills and control of fire have reached an extremely high level. Even if he had been an imperial chef, he would not dare to say that he was better than the other party. This is a powerful enemy. Chef Zhang took a deep breath and went all out. Outside the kitchen, a group of chefs gathered together. Smelling the aroma wafting out of it, there was a lot of discussion. This umami flavor is fried clams and shrimp and duck. It should be the braised shrimp section and 8 treasure duck. Tisk, tisk, can this kid really do it? Soon, the door opened. The chefs gathered around and saw only 2 plates with 3 dishes on each. Judging from the color appearance, there was no difference. Really smells good. I won't talk about the taste, but the color and aroma are almost perfect. Who did this? Looking at the two trays in front of them, the chefs couldn't tell who made it. They looked at Ling Feng in surprise. They didn't expect that a young boy could actually cook dishes that were as good as Chef Zhang's. Bring the dishes out and let the guests taste them, Chef Zhang said calmly. But when he looked at Ling Feng, there was already a hint of wonder in his eyes. The dishes were brought out. Free tasting for guests. After everyone finished eating, they were all full of praise. Okay, so delicious. The shrimp segments are not too starched, and the sweetness and tenderness of the shrimp segments are retained. Both the texture and taste are impeccable. This set is slightly worse, but it is still of a very high level. This should be done by that young man. It is impressive to be able to do this. Are you going to throw that plate? It's definitely the number 1 dish. Although the number 2 dish is not bad either, the 3 dishes on the number 1 dish are obviously better. This is the first time I've had such good food. It's even better than what I had at Tianquan Villa before. Haha, it seems that Chef Zhang has some reservations. There was a lot of discussion, and then the voting began. Almost without exception, everyone voted for plate number 1. Chef Zhang and Ling Feng came out. Looking at the voting results, Chef Zhang's face suddenly changed. Then he stepped forward to plate number 1, picked up his chopsticks and took a few bites. After eating, he looked confused. Change. Surprisingly, it actually tastes better than what I made. Boy, who did you learn cooking from? Chef Zhang looked at Ling Feng with a complicated expression on his face. When everyone heard this, they were stunned for a moment, and then took a breath of air. No way. Was this boy the one who made this plate? Oh my god. This young man can cook better than Chef Zhang. I'm all self-taught, which makes Chef Zhang laugh. Ling Feng smiled slightly. Ding, congratulations to the host for surpassing Chef Zhang in cooking, becoming famous in the culinary world, and receiving the reward. God's tongue. Closing square bracket. God's tongue. What's the use of this thing? The tongue of God is an ability that countless chefs dream of. People with the tongue of God can easily identify the ingredients used in each dish, analyze the cooking techniques, and even improve them. It sounds awesome. In this way, even if I don't practice cultivation in the future, I can still shine as a cook. Ling Feng thought to himself. Good disciple, well done. Lu Rusi laughed heartily, walked up to Ling Feng, rubbed his head, and then looked at Chef Zhang and the shopkeeper. We can go now. Wait a minute. This little brother is admirable for his superb cooking skills. I wonder if he is willing to work at Tianquan Villa. I am willing to pay 100 taels a month. The shopkeeper walked up to Ling Feng and smiled. Lu Rusi was immediately dissatisfied. What a guy, you actually dare to poach someone. Let my disciple be the cook of your Tianquan Villa. Are you worthy of it? Indeed, let a martial Dao sacred body be the cook. It is estimated that no force would do this. Unless you're crazy. Although the shopkeeper didn't know about martial Dao sacred body, he also knew that being a martial artist did have a better future than being a cook, so he couldn't help but sigh with regret. What a pity, little brother, I hope you remember that the door to the kitchen of my Tianquan Villa is always open for you. Thank you, shopkeeper, for the promotion. Okay, you two can leave after paying for your meal. HMPH, it sounds like I know how to eat a king's meal. Lu Rusi curled his lips, took out his money bag and threw it at the shopkeeper. Keep the change, please. When the shopkeeper picked it up, hey, the weight is wrong. Open it and take a look. Oops, good guy, there are only 2 copper plates in it. His face darkened. No need to look for it yet. These 2 copper coins are not even enough to eat a plate of peanuts. Is Elder Lu just trying to make fun of me? The shopkeeper held 2 copper plates and the corner of his mouth twitched. How is it possible? Why is there only so little left? Oh, I remembered it. When I went to Dasheng Casino the day before yesterday, I seemed to have lost a lot, and then I used the remaining money to buy wine. It's terrible now. How will we live in the future? Lu Rusi had a sad face. The shopkeeper's face darkened. I don't care how you spend the rest of your life, but if you can't pay for the meal today, just stay here and wash the dishes. Shopkeeper, please be accommodating and let me go back first. I will pay for the meal in a few days. Lu Rusi said with a playful smile. But the shopkeeper didn't believe her at all. After all, how can a drunkard and gambler have any credibility? Ling Feng watched his master bargaining from the side and couldn't help but hold his forehead. He had a new understanding of Lu Rusi's unreliability. When he thought that he might have to stay and wash the dishes with his master, he couldn't help but sigh, why do you have to deal with such a master? Host, this is your choice. Well, ahem, Zhaofeng, I'll count 1, 2, 3 later. Hold on tight and I'll take you out. Lu Rusi approached Ling Feng and whispered. Ah, master, we are going to eat the king's meal. Let's just eat. I, the dignified elder of White Cloud sect, stay here to wash the dishes. Or should I follow my apprentice? It's outrageous to spread this word. Master, I think eating the king's meal might be even more outrageous. Ling Feng's mouth twitched. Suddenly, he had something in mind and asked, Master, can the spiritual stone be used to offset the debt? Spiritual stone. You can use the spiritual stone to pay off the debt, but the teacher is so tight that he doesn't even have any money, let alone the spiritual stone. Lu Rusi said helplessly. Spiritual stone, I have it. Ling Feng took out a fist-sized supreme-grade spirit stone from the storage ring. Lu Rusi was stunned when he saw it, supreme-grade spiritual stone. Storage ring, my good disciple, where did you get these things? When I was in the village, I often helped the villagers go up the mountain to chop firewood. I picked up this ring on the mountain, and the spiritual stone is also in this ring. Ling Feng lied casually. Hey, my good disciple, you are so lucky. Lu Rusi took the supreme-grade spirit stone and threw it to the shopkeeper. This supreme-grade spirit stone is enough to buy you 10 tables of delicacies. Give me another 100 jars of Beiguo Zong. Okay. The shopkeeper suddenly beamed. A piece of supreme-grade spiritual stone is equivalent to 10,000 taels of silver. Do the math. He made a lot of money. Ling Feng was a little surprised. He didn't expect that a piece of supreme-grade spiritual stone could have such great purchasing power. Unknowingly, he became a rich man. Ding! The host helped the master to save himself from the siege, and at the same time avoided the consequences of washing the dishes himself. The host was rewarded with 100 supreme-grade spiritual stones. Ling Feng blinked. Is this okay? The rewards in this system are too arbitrary. Ling Feng shook his head. It feels like my life has turned on easy mode. Everything you do is easy. Then, enjoy it. Ling Feng decided to enjoy every day. Soon, the shopkeeper prepared 100 jars of Beiguo Zong, and Lu Rusi put them all into the storage ring with a wave of his hand. Then he took Ling Feng away, and on the way back to White Cloud sect, Lu Rusi stopped in front of a gambling house and took a few glances. Ling Feng asked curiously from the side, Master, do you want to go in and gamble? Ahem, my hands are a little itchy. Can I see you even if you don't have money? If you don't have any money, you can borrow money. Gambling houses like to lend money to people the most. Oh, then I'll wait for Master here. Ling Feng didn't dissuade him and walked to a tea shop and sat down obediently. Lu Rusi glanced at him and took a few steps towards the gambling house, but suddenly turned back, holding Ling Feng's hand and about to leave. Master, don't you want to gamble? Bullshit gambling. I don't know how much money this rubbish gambling shop won from me. It must be a cheat. From today on, stop gambling. Lu Rusi said seriously. She glanced at Ling Feng and thought to herself, I can't continue to degenerate like this. Ling Feng's practice in the future will definitely require various resources. If she keeps losing all her money, how can she buy it for Ling Feng? Resource. You can't let your good disciple drink the northwest wind with you, right? Lu Rusi, you have to cheer up. Thinking of this, Lu Rusi's expression became more determined. She waved her fist and said, starting from today, I want to change my mind. Become a new person. Hearing what she said, Ling Feng smiled happily. Although he didn't know why Lu Rusi, the dignified Zhou dynasty's #1 swordsman, had fallen to this point, he didn't want to see him sink forever. Well, I believe Master can do it. The next day. The sun had just risen. Ling Feng looked at Lu Rusi, who was drunk early in the morning and lying on the ground with his shirt half unbuttoned, and the corner of Ling Feng's mouth twitched. What about the promised change of heart? What about a new life as promised? I believed you. Ling Feng had no choice but to clean up the wine jar on the ground, then went out, picked up a branch, and started practicing for the day. From the simplest Liangyi sword technique to the advanced Liuhe sword technique. These days, he has mastered all the sword techniques taught by Lu Rusi at his fingertips, like flowing clouds and flowing water, all in one go. Practiced for an hour. Boom. It was as if some shackles in the body had been broken. True Qi surges. Innate double. Ling Feng is quite satisfied. Coupled with the supreme grade spirit stone he possesses, he thinks it won't be long before he can break through to the martial master realm. That is, the realm of Elder Li. Soon. 3 pulls in the sun. Ling Feng is preparing to cook. Lu Rusi had sobered up and washed himself up. After eating, he said, "My dear disciple, you don't have to make meals for me tonight. I plan to go out for a few days. It may take a few days. During this time, you can stay at Piamiao Peak, don't run around, practice obediently, and wait until I come back to buy you a gift." Ling Feng was stunned for a moment. What is Master going to do? It will be kept secret for now. Master, are you going to gamble again? Ling Fenggu asked doubtfully. How is it possible? Master has said that he needs to change his mind. But you were drunk again early in the morning. Well, this is an exception. After all, I brought back so much wine from Tianquan Villa yesterday. If you don't drink it, it's nothing. And drinking and gambling are 2 different things. You can quit gambling, but it's impossible to quit drinking. Lu Rusi said. Master, why do you have to drink? If I don't drink, I can't sleep. There was a hint of melancholy in Lu Rusi's eyes. There is a situation. Ling Feng's eyes flashed, but he didn't pursue the question. He believed that if Lu Rusi wanted to tell him, he would naturally tell him that he had not been with the other party for long now, so there was no need to rush to understand everything. Oh, Master, please pay attention to safety when you go out this time. Come back early. I will take care of Piamiao Peak. Ling Feng said. My good disciple, you are so good. Come on, give me a kiss for my master. Lu Rusi's shiny little mouth moved towards Ling Feng's cheek, but was blocked by Ling Feng. Hey, no, it smells like garlic. The garlic shrimp you cooked is so delicious. Soon. Lu Rusi was ready to leave. He didn't pack anything and was carrying a sword. My good disciple, I'm leaving as my master. It seemed as if a pair of invisible wings were spread out on her body. The wings trembled. There was a wave of air in place. She soared into the sky and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Ling Feng looked a little envious. True turns into wings and flies in the air. I don't know when I will reach this point. After Lu Rusi left, Ling Feng was the only one left in Piamiao Peak, which seemed much deserted. But he wasn't idle either. Practice swordsmanship during the day and refine supreme grade spiritual stones at night. The days were extremely fulfilling. True Qi inside the body is also growing day by day. Ding, it's been detected that the host has been practicing for more than 8 hours today. He's working too hard. Reward the host with a lottery opportunity. Closing square bracket. A turntable appeared in front of Ling Feng again. It is different from all kinds of weird talents in the talent lottery. This time, there are some strange items on the carousel. Bib short, basketball, Ultraman figure. Green Ganjian, Yulong Dao, 100 purple bamboo seedlings. A bag of super delicious rice. Lottery. Ling Feng took a look and then started to draw. The turntable pointer rotated rapidly, and then slowly stopped on 100 purple bamboo seedlings. Ling Feng glanced at the bare-eyed Piamiao Peak. It would be a good idea to plant these bamboo seedlings in Piamiao Peak. Now that I live here, the appearance must be at least decent. Then, while he was practicing martial arts, he began to plant purple bamboo seedlings on Piamiao Peak. This seedling grew very fast. Ling Feng planted it on the same day, and it grew a lot taller the next day, which made Ling Feng marvel. The system just said something arrogantly about this. Produced by the system, it must be a high-quality product. Closing square bracket. Chapter 11. Practice swordsmanship, practice true qi, plant purple bamboo. Ling Feng's life at Piamiao Peak was interesting and fulfilling. In the blink of an eye, Lu Rusi has been gone for 3 days. Within 3 days, Ling Feng's cultivation has improved by leaps and bounds, and he has advanced to the 5th level of innate. Almost 1 weight per day. This speed of practice can only be said to be unprecedented in White Cloud sect. In this regard, Ling Feng just wants to say, Supreme Grade Lingxi, the best. Of course, practicing so fast requires a lot of Supreme Grade Spirit Stones. In just 3 days, he has consumed hundreds of supreme-grade spirit stones. If converted into silver taels, that would be 1 million taels of silver. In the entire Great Zhou dynasty, few people dared to be so extravagant as junior brother Lu here. At this time, Ling Feng was preparing lunch when he heard a sound outside. Go outside and take a look. But it was a girl in red, who looked a bit familiar. When the girl saw Ling Feng, she couldn't help but be stunned for a moment, then her face turned red and she said, I am Ji Yu Linglong, a disciple of Taishu Peak. I have met my junior brother. I rely on it. This junior brother is so pretty. Ji Yu Linglong shouted in her heart. Ling Feng didn't know why the other party suddenly blushed, but when he heard the 3 words Ji Yu Linglong, the scene when he first arrived at White Cloud sect came to mind. At that time, there was a young girl who joined the sect with him. However, the other party became a disciple of the leader of White Cloud sect. Taishu Peak is where the Lord of White Cloud sect lives. It turns out to be senior sister Ji Yu. I wonder if senior sister suddenly came to my Piaomiao Peak. What's the matter? Ling Feng asked curiously. At the same time, he threw a detection technique at the other party. Ji Yu Linglong, the daughter of the Ji Yu family in Ziling of the Great Zhou dynasty, has outstanding talent. Her cultivation has reached the innate Qi realm, she is good at swordsmanship, and she is the disciple of the Lord White Cloud sect. The other party has also reached innate. It seems that the sect leader has invested a lot of resources into the other party. I was patrolling the mountain today and happened to pass by Piaomiao Peak, so I came to see my junior brother. By the way, is Elder Lu here? Master, she has gone out. Has senior sister eaten? If you don't mind, why not stay for a casual meal? Ling Feng said. Then I would rather obey your orders than be respectful. Ling Feng, he was really just trying to be polite. Unexpectedly, the other party actually agreed. Welcoming Ji Yu Linglong into the house, there was an extra person and an extra pair of chopsticks. The food prepared by Ling Feng was not enough, so he had to cook 2 more dishes. Fortunately, he just went down the mountain yesterday and bought a lot of food. Looking at Ling Feng, who was busy in the kitchen, Ji Yu Linglong's beautiful eyes showed a hint of brilliance. I didn't expect that junior brother can also cook. It's surprising. My craftsmanship is not good, it makes my senior sister laugh. Ling Feng sat back at the table with 2 plates of freshly cooked dishes. The 2 of them started eating. Ji Yu Linglong took a bite, and then her beautiful eyes widened. It's delicious. Junior brother, the food you cook is 100 times more delicious than the canteen. Senior sister, you are so complimentary. Wait. Senior sister, what did you say? It tastes 100 times better than the canteen. What's wrong, junior brother? Our White Cloud sect has a cafeteria. Yes, otherwise what will the hundreds of people in White Cloud sect eat? Ling Feng's mouth twitched. There was a canteen, so why did he work so hard to cook for himself? Canteen, is it free? Well, yes. Ji Yu Linglong nodded while stuffing vegetables into her mouth. Ling Feng felt even more depressed. I feel like I missed out on 100 million. No, he also wants to go to the cafeteria to eat. After finishing the meal, Ji Yu Linglong touched her slightly bulging belly and said, it's so delicious. This is the first time I've eaten so much in White Cloud sect. Sister, just enjoy your meal. Ling Feng smiled lightly. Looking at him, who was gentle and elegant, Ji Yu Linglong felt more and more that the junior brother in front of her was so good-looking and gentle, and she really should have come to visit earlier. This way you can eat it earlier. Oh no, I got to know my junior brother earlier. Looking at Ling Feng, who was about to wash the dishes, Ji Yu Linglong took the initiative to walk up and said, why are you embarrassed to keep you busy, junior brother? Let me do the dishes. Senior sister is a guest, how can I let you do such a thing? Hey, junior brother, what you said is beyond the pale. Ji Yu Linglong took the dishes from Ling Feng's hand and rushed into the kitchen to wash up. Ling Feng looked on, a little worried. This senior sister looks like she has no fingers in the spring water. Is it really okay? Crackling, ping-pong clanging. A series of sounds came from the kitchen. Ling Feng walked in and saw that the floor was covered with broken pieces of dishes. The corner of his mouth twitched, and there was indeed something wrong. Sorry, junior brother, I accidentally slipped and broke it. Ji Yu Linglong blushed and pinched the corner of her clothes, looking at a loss. She crouched down to pick up the pieces. Ling Feng stepped forward quickly and said, "Let me do it, senior sister, be careful not to get scratched by the glass fragments. You'd better go and rest first." Oh, Ji Yu Linglong tiptoed to the side and watched Ling Feng working. Not a moment. Ling Feng then cleaned up the fragments. He sighed in his heart, "Come on, I have to go to the cafeteria to eat at night. All the bowls, chopsticks and plates are gone. Just eat." "Ahem, junior brother, don't worry, I will compensate you. It's just a few bowls and chopsticks. Senior sister, you don't have to worry about it." "Senior sister, are you not injured?" Ling Feng asked. No, Ji Yu Linglong almost cried. It was obvious that I was clumsy, but instead of blaming me, my junior brother was so caring and gentle. It was so rare to see such a gentle junior brother. Ji Yu Linglong's favorability towards Ling Feng skyrocketed. Ding! The host successfully gains favor with Ji Yu Linglong and takes a step forward in interpersonal communication. The host is rewarded with 10 Shangqing pills. Shangqing Dan, he seemed to have heard of it. It is a kind of elixir specially used to improve cultivation. I don't know how it compares to supreme grade spiritual stones. Ling Feng plans to try it tonight. By the way, junior brother, it's been half a month since you became a disciple of Elder Lu. I wonder how your practice is going and whether you can successfully enter qi condensation into your body. Qi condensation into the body. Senior sister is talking about postnatal realm. Yep, junior brother is not talented. He was promoted to innate just a few days ago. Ji Yu Linglong. So fast. She had laid the foundation before joining White Cloud sect. She was from the postnatal realm world, so she was able to advance to innate in such a short period of time. But what about Ling Feng? Within half a month, I was promoted from an ordinary person to innate. Can martial Dao sacred body be so unreasonable? I happen to be an innate too. Junior brother, why don't we compete? This is good. Ling Feng has never competed with anyone before and is a little eager to give it a try. The two came outside the house and began to get into a posture. Junior brother, don't you have a sword? Looking at Ling Feng holding a branch, Ji Yu Linglong asked curiously. Ah, no, then I might as well use branches. Ji Yu Linglong found a branch on the ground and started fighting with Ling Feng. I saw sword shadows one after another, and the two men executed sword moves one after another. As the figures move, they become more like phantoms, constantly intertwining in the air. Ji Yu Linglong became more and more frightened as she fought. All the sword skills she used were completely useless in front of Ling Feng, and they were easily blocked by the opponent. It was as if the opponent could understand her moves in advance. So weak. We are both innates, is there such a big gap between me and my senior sister? Ling Feng thought to himself. He can spot the flaws in the opponent's moves at a glance and counterattack. Ji Yu Linglong and Ling Feng fought for most of an hour. Finally, Ji Yu Linglong stopped panting. Opposite her, Ling Feng was holding a branch, his breathing still steady. There wasn't even a drop of sweat on my forehead. He thought for a moment and said, "Thank you, senior sister, for showing mercy." He felt that maybe it wasn't that Ji Yu Linglong was too weak, but that the other party deliberately held back in order to take care of him. The senior sister was really kind-hearted. When Ji Yu Linglong heard this, she felt ashamed and panicked. "Well, junior brother, your swordsmanship is very good. It seems that Elder Lu must have taught you very carefully." "Well, master is indeed very attentive." Ling Feng nodded slightly. Although Lu Rusi seems unreliable, since the White Cloud sect leader and others came to visit last time, the other party has paid much attention to his guidance. He now knows 18 sword techniques. They were all taught by the other party. Okay, it's getting late today. I'll go back first and come back to visit another day. Ji Yu Linglong cupped her hands and smiled, and then left with some reluctance. On the way down the mountain, thinking of Ling Feng's sharp and changeable sword moves, she waved her fist. You have to pay more attention to yourself. Mountain. Ling Feng was also reviewing his battle with Ji Yu Linglong. There are some sword moves that I can use better, so I'll have to pay more attention next time. Ding. The host fights against someone for the first time, and the opponent is impressed. He is worthy of being the future transcendent level invincible divine king, and the host is rewarded with a mantra pill. Mantra card. What is this? Back to the host. the truth pill is a pill that can make people tell the truth. Oh, I got it. Ling Feng suddenly realized. Today's harvest was okay. 2 elixirs were harvested in succession. 10 pills of supreme purity and 1 pill of mantra. He was in a good mood, then glanced at the empty kitchen without a single bowl, and couldn't help but sigh. Let's go to the cafeteria for dinner. Down the mountain. I stopped a disciple on the road and asked him. I quickly found the location of the canteen. The cafeteria is very large, and due to dinner time, there is an endless stream of disciples coming and going. Some disciples were still complaining while eating their food. What's going on with the chef in this cafeteria? This dish is getting worse and worse. Tisk, tisk, look at these braised pork ribs, they're so dark. I heard that the owner of the cafeteria is related to the great elder. You'd better say a few words less and let the other party know that he doesn't even have to eat. Ling Feng came to the window and ordered a few dishes casually. Then he found an empty seat and sat down. Began to eat. But as soon as he took a bite of scrambled eggs and put it in his mouth, Ling Feng couldn't help but frown, and then he couldn't help but spit it out on the table. Someone noticed him and marveled. Who is this person? Did he come to the cafeteria to make trouble? I don't know, I guess I have a bad appetite. Ling Feng didn't pay attention to the eyes of others and took a few more bites. But without exception, he spit them out. The more he ate, the more he frowned. Finally, his face became unusually gloomy. He stood up and poured the plates of food into the trash can, and then found a bottle of water to rinse his mouth. The chef in the canteen had already walked out dissatisfied. One of them held an iron spoon and snorted coldly. Boy, what are you doing? Take one bite and spit it out. Do you have any objections to us? Yes, and the problem is huge. Ling Feng nodded. These things are not dishes at all, but plates of poison. Your canteen's conscience was eaten by dogs, so you thought of using gutter oil to cook. You are endangering the entire White House Cloud sect. When the chefs heard this, their expressions changed. Boy, what are you talking about here? What kind of gutter oil is that? Don't talk nonsense. Alarmist. Ling Feng ignored them and said calmly, I will report this matter to the sect leader and let him make a decision. You just wait to be punished. After speaking, he said to the disciples in the cafeteria, everyone, don't eat these dishes. Eating too much will harm your body. After hearing this, everyone looked at the dishes in front of them with disgust. Whether what this person says is true or not, this dish is really unpalatable. I ate well. That's because there's something wrong with your mouth. Who is this man? Is what he said true? I just said that I had diarrhea yesterday and it was the canteen that caused it. Everyone was talking about it. Looking at Ling Feng walking out of the canteen, the chef suddenly became anxious. Step forward to stop him. Stop. Don't even think about leaving until you explain clearly. Several chefs took action one after another, all showing a certain level of martial Dao cultivation. But Ling Feng is also an innate realm now. True Qi surged in his body, knocking several people to the ground with a few consecutive moves. Innate martial artist. This young man is not bad at strength. Why haven't I heard of him before? At this time, a young man in white stood up, cupped his hands and said, Junior brother, I'm Sword Peak Zhang Ruichin. I wonder what the gutter oil that junior brother just mentioned means. It's senior brother Zhang. Senior brother Zhang, the true disciple of God Sword Peak, is also in the cafeteria. Ling Feng glanced at the other party. Throw a detection technique over. Zhang Ruichin, a true disciple of the White Cloud sect God Sword Peak, he has cultivated to the 7th level of martial master. He is steady and calm, enthusiastic and quick-hearted, and has a chivalrous style. He seems to be a trustworthy person. Gutter oil is an extremely low-quality oil. Long-term consumption will damage the body and even be life-threatening. Extremely low-quality oil. Can you be more clear? Zhang Ruichin asked. Ling Feng pondered for a moment. Let's put it this way. This oil can be extracted from the internal organs and skins of some pigs that died of illness, or it can be extracted from unwanted leftovers, such as this barrel of swill. Everyone took a look at the turbid swill bucket with milky white grease and various unknown minced meat floating in it, and couldn't help but feel sick. Some people couldn't bear it anymore and ran outside to vomit. Why is the food in the cafeteria so unpalatable? It turns out they are giving us unwanted swill. It's disgusting. These guys are capable of killing 1,000 people. Disgusting, disgusting. Everyone was extremely angry. And Zhang Ruichen's face didn't look good, and he couldn't help but want to vomit. He continued to ask, how did the junior brother know about this waste oil thing? I'm a chef and I have a natural sense of taste, so I can eat it. He has the tongue of God. You can easily tell how good a dish is and how it was made. But also because of the God's tongue, when he ate the vegetables just now, the taste was so unpleasant that he almost thought he was eating shit. That was one of the reasons he felt so angry. This matter is of great importance. Junior brother, please join me and report it to the sect master. Good. Ling Feng did not refuse. The other disciples also surrounded the cafeteria and refused to let anyone leave. Soon, Ling Feng met the Lord of White Cloud sect again. Oh, it's Zhaofang, why are you here? The Lord of White Cloud sect couldn't help but feel a little enthusiastic when he saw him. Zhang Ruichen was a little surprised. This junior brother looks very extraordinary. Etc. I heard that a martial Dao sacred body came recently, could it be him? Sect master, I came here today to report something important. Ling Feng recounted what he discovered in the cafeteria. After hearing this, the head of White Cloud sect's face was so gloomy that he was almost dripping with tears. Come here. Go and arrest all the relevant people in the canteen and bring them to Xingtang. White Cloud sect, within Xingtang. All the people in the cafeteria, including the purchasers, chefs, and even the owner of the restaurant were all caught and knelt on the ground. There were plates of dishes placed in front of them. Apart from the average taste, there seems to be nothing wrong with these dishes. So these people all denied it. Especially the leader of the hall, who said calmly, I have always worked hard for White Cloud sect and have never done anything to harm White Cloud sect. Xingtang arrested us because of a disciple's words. Would it be too much to interrogate here? Does the Great Elder know about this? Oh, you mean, if the Great Elder knows, we won't be able to arrest you, right? A cold voice sounded. The master of White Cloud sect walked in. Seeing him, the owner of the cafeteria lost his pride and said respectfully, I have met the sect master, please ask the sect master to clear my name. As soon as he opened his mouth, it became clear that he had been wronged. The leader of White Cloud sect snorted, whether you are innocent or not, Xingtang will naturally give you an explanation, not me. Ling Feng, as the discoverer of the gutter oil incident, also followed the White Cloud sect master, looked at the cafeteria master, and threw a detection technique at him. Lu Kai, the owner of the White Cloud sect cafeteria, the nephew of the Great Elder of White Cloud sect, is greedy, petty-minded, and greedy. In order to gain wealth, he does not hesitate to use cheap gutter oil, embezzle the funds of the cafeteria, and line his own pockets. The art of scrying has been made very obvious. This person is the mastermind behind the gutter oil incident. But how do you get this person to confess? Ling Feng suddenly thought of the mantra pill he had obtained not long ago. His eyes lit up, and he whispered a few words next to the White Cloud sect master. The other party looked at him suspiciously. Mantra pill. There is such a magical elixir in this world. It doesn't matter if you give it a try anyway. The Lord of White Cloud sect nodded, and then took the elixir handed over by Ling Feng. He grabbed the canteen owner, opened his mouth, and stuffed the elixir in. The other person looked horrified, thinking that he was giving him some kind of poison. He panicked and said, Sect Master, you are using severe torture to extract a confession. Even if I do it, you won't be able to convince the public. Don't worry, what I gave you is not poison, it's just a pill that allows you to tell the truth. White Cloud sect said. Then he glanced at Hall Master Xingtang. The other party understood and continued to extract confessions. Lu Kai, tell me, are you disregarding the health of White Cloud sect disciples and using cheap and low-quality oil to enrich your own pockets? Lu Kai sneered in his heart. How could he possibly confess? Yes, Lu Kai sneered, but as soon as the words came out, his expression froze. How so? What did he just say? The chefs and delivery staff behind him were also confused. Master, what are you talking about? Did you hear wrongly? How could we not do this? The leader of Xingtang was also stunned for a moment. Is the effect of this elixir so obvious? He asked again. Tell me, where does this oil come from? We purchased some unwanted pig offal, dead pork, and pig skin from the slaughterhouse at the foot of the mountain and extracted them. In addition, we also sent people to various restaurants in the city to collect swill and leftovers to extract them. The owner of the cafeteria said it all in one breath. The more he spoke, the more sweat formed on his forehead. Shut up, stop talking, he was screaming inside, trying to control himself, but it was no use. The effect of the mantra pill was not something he could resist. The master of Xingtang and the master of White Cloud sect turned pale after hearing this. All relevant personnel in the canteen also collapsed on the ground with pale faces. It's over. All is lost. The leader of Xingtang suppressed his anger and continued to extract confessions. I learned that the canteen not only used gutter oil, but also used many low-quality ingredients. If you ignore the health of White Cloud sect disciples in this way, are you still a human being? Aren't you afraid of any problems? Don't be afraid. Ordinary people may have big problems if they eat these things, but White Cloud sect disciples are all martial arts practitioners. They are strong and strong. No matter how much they eat, there will be no problems. At most, they will just have diarrhea. Quote, "You were wrong," Ling Feng snorted from the side. Even if you are a martial artist, if you eat these things for a long time, their martial Tao will definitely be affected when they enter the country. In other words, you are ruining your life. The future of White Cloud sect disciples. So what, as long as it doesn't kill anyone? The canteen owner said. He had collapsed on the ground, his face ashen. I couldn't control my mouth at all. What's in my heart comes out one after another. At this time, the great elder of White Cloud sect walked into Xingtang and happened to hear what the other party said. He roared angrily and slapped the opponent on the head with his palm. The Lord White Cloud sect grabbed his hand. If you want to kill him, don't rush it. Let him explain all the relevant people related to this matter at this moment. The Lord of White Cloud sect gave the great elder a deep look. Then, Lu Kai listed the people involved in the gutter oil incident one by one. Chefs, purchasing staff. There were actually more than 10 people participating. And the money they have embezzled over the years has reached hundreds of thousands of taels. Oh, I am the master of Xingtang, and my net worth is only a few thousand taels. You, the master of the cafeteria, are dozens of times as rich as me. The leader of Xingtang sneered. Ling Feng blinked at the side. So White Cloud sect, is it so poor? He also has hundreds of supreme-grade spiritual stones on him. A piece of supreme-grade spiritual stone costs 10,000 taels. Then he has quite a few million taels on him now. He must be richer than the elders combined. Great elder, this Lu Kai is your nephew, does he know about this? The Lord of White Cloud sect looked at the great elder and asked calmly. The great elder's expression froze. In addition, judging from his eagerness to kill Lu Kai just now, the other party, 9 times out of 10, knows. Thinking of this, the Lord of White Cloud sect said coldly, "Answer me." Great elder. Back to the sect master, I do know that Lu Kai has been enriching himself, but I really don't know that he dares to be so crazy and disregard the health of the White Cloud sect disciples. If I knew, I would definitely not let him go. The great elder knew that there was no point in hiding it, so he simply confessed. He is the grand elder of the White Cloud sect. Moreover, he was not deeply involved in this matter, and his crime would not lead to death. Great elder, what do you want me to say to you? Great elder, you actually bend the law for your own gain. You disappoint me so much. I'll fine you half a year's monthly payment. Go back and think about your mistakes behind closed doors. As for Lu Kai and the rest, execute them all. The leader of White Cloud sect said coldly. Hall Master Xingtang nodded, yes. Suddenly, everyone in the hall burst into mourning. Someone looked at Ling Feng and said resentfully, it's all you, the. Isn't it just eating some bad oil? You can't kill people by eating it, so why are you meddling in other people's business? You don't have to die well, you don't have to sew. Ling Feng listened on the sidelines with a cold look in his eyes. He has no mercy for these profit-driven people. The great elder also took a deep look at Ling Feng. Ling Feng, you have made great achievements at this time, I don't know what reward you want. The Lord of White Cloud sect smiled. I'm just telling what I know. As a member of the White Cloud sect, no matter who knows this, they won't sit idly by and don't dare to ask for any reward. Ling Feng said with his hand. The master of White Cloud sect and the master of Xingtang looked at the humble and polite young man in front of him, who took credit but was not arrogant. The more he looked at it, the more satisfied he became, with his eyes full of love. Ding! Congratulations to the host for exposing the gutter oil incident, safeguarding the health of White Cloud sect disciples, increasing the prestige of the sect, and rewarding the power of 9 cows and 2 tigers. Closing square bracket. 9 cows and 2 tigers. Ling Feng felt a warm current flowing through his body. Then my body seemed to become much lighter. After clenching my fist a little, my strength seems to have improved a lot. This is not an improvement from true qi, but a pure increase in strength. Although you don't dare to take credit, you are the one who discovered this matter after all. If you have merit, you will be rewarded. So, I will allocate 10,000 taels to you from Piaomiao Peak, so that your master doesn't have to go down the mountain to be a knife hunter. Quote. The master of White Cloud sect smiled lightly. Ling Feng was stunned when he heard this. Knife catcher. What do you mean? You don't know yet. Your master ran down the mountain a few days ago and said that he wanted to make money and become a knife catcher. He is someone who specializes in catching fugitives who are offered bounties by the imperial court in exchange for bounties, because these fugitives are often vicious. They are extremely powerful and carry swords, so those who capture them are also called sword catchers. So that's the case, then master won't be in danger, right? As soon as Ling Feng asked the question, he felt that the question was a bit redundant. Who is Lu Rusi, the #1 sword cultivator in the Great Zhou dynasty? There is certainly no doubt about her strength. There are few opponents in Dazhou, so how could she be in danger? Really? The master of White Cloud sect smiled lightly. Don't worry, although your master usually seems unreliable, there is no doubt about her strength. That's good, sect master, I'll leave first if nothing happens. Okay, I'll have the 10,000 taels sent to Piaomiao Peak. Ling Feng didn't refuse, he was the one who didn't want to make money. Soon, the incident of gutter oil in the cafeteria became a hot topic in White Cloud sect. Many disciples found out about this, and when they thought about how disgusting the food they and others ate in the cafeteria was, many of them vomited on the spot. If it weren't for the elders to maintain order, the cafeteria would have been smashed. White Cloud sect also promised to change the canteen owner and strengthen supervision of the canteen in the future to prevent similar situations from occurring. Everyone quickly turned their attention to Ling Feng, who exposed the incident. Praise for it. Fortunately, we have junior brother Ling Feng this time. Otherwise, we don't know how much more hardship we would have to endure in the cafeteria. This rubbish restaurant is so disappointing. Isn't it that the owner of the cafeteria has been able to line his own pockets for so long because he has the support of the Great Elder? Over the years, many people have also reported the problem of unpalatable food in the cafeteria, but nothing has been done about it. Why did he act so quickly this time? Really, I see, this junior brother Ling Feng is not simple either. What, don't you know who Ling Feng is? Who? He is the new martial Dao sacred body. Let me go, is it so powerful? No wonder he talks so well. There was a lot of discussion up and down the White Cloud sect. Ling Feng's name quickly spread in White Cloud sect, and his prestige increased. As his prestige increased, the prestige of the Great Elder began to decline. After all, the owner of the cafeteria was his nephew, and now that something like this happened, he, the Elder, must be to blame. Many people even suspected that the cafeteria owner the Lord enriched his own pocket, and most of the money he received went into the pocket of the Great Elder. How else can his prestige be improved? When Ling Feng returned to Piaomiao Peak, it was already dark. There are stars hanging in the starry sky, twinkling. The bright moon hangs high, and the moonlight is like water, hazily shining on the entire Piaomiao Peak. He washed himself, then went into the house and continued his practice. He took out the elixir he just obtained today. Shangqing Dan. The effect of this product should not be bad. Looking at the elixir the size of a little finger in his hand, Ling Feng smiled slightly, then swallowed it in one gulp and began to refine the elixir's power. Boom! The majestic power of the medicine was released from his body. Washing away at his limbs, he gradually transformed into true qi. At this moment, the elixir is worth more than a dozen supreme-grade spiritual stones. The night passed. Ling Feng opened his eyes, and a flash of light flashed by. He punched the air, causing a sonic explosion. Innate 7th level. He broke through 2 small realms in one go. From the 5th level of innate to the 7th level, with the strength of 9 bulls and 2 tigers, even the masters of the 9th level of innate are no problem. There are still 9 super clear pills, which are enough for me to break through to the realm of martial master. Although martial Dao becomes more difficult the further you go. But he is only 2 small realms away from the martial master. 9 super clear pills are not enough. He opened the door and planned to fetch water to wash up, but what he saw was a large lush purple bamboo forest. It looks much better than the bare Piao peak. These 100 purple bamboos are not enough. Let's continue sowing some more. Ling Feng thought to himself. There is no need for the system to continue to reward you. You can directly separate a lot of bamboo seedlings from the existing purple bamboos and gradually sow them throughout the Piao peak. After washing, he began to prepare breakfast for himself. Although there are no bowls and chopsticks, there is still a pot. I cooked some noodles at will, broke off 2 bamboo sticks to use as chopsticks, and ate from the pot. But not even half of it. Then someone came to visit. It's Ji Yu Linglong, junior brother. I'm here to see you. Ji Yu Linglong trotted up the mountain and looked at Ling Feng, who was having breakfast. Her eyes lit up and said, "Junior brother, you are having breakfast. I haven't eaten either." Ah, Ling Feng was stunned for a moment. Is this senior sister here to make a living? By the way, junior brother, I brought something for you. Ji Yu Linglong smiled and then took out a lot of exquisite tableware, plates, bowls, chopsticks, pots, gourds, shovels, kitchen knives. Everything you need. This is my apology for breaking your plate yesterday, please accept it. Sister, you are too polite. Ling Feng's eyes lit up when he looked at these exquisite tableware. As a chef, he really likes these tableware. He said he was polite, but he still received the tableware one by one from Chu Feng and cooked a bowl of noodles for Ji Yu Linglong. A bowl of clear noodle soup with oily splatters and green onions on top. 2 perfectly fried poached eggs were round and bulging. It looked delicious. Ji Yu Linglong took a deep breath, picked up the chopsticks, and started eating. By the way, junior brother, I still have 10,000 taels of silver notes here. Master asked me to bring them to you. I also heard about what you did in the cafeteria. It's awesome. Ji Yu Linglong took out a wad of banknotes while eating. He also gave Ling Feng a thumbs up. You should concentrate on eating first, be careful of choking. Ling Feng said helplessly. Not a moment. Ji Yu Linglong drank a large bowl of noodles and all the noodle soup. There was no food residue in the bowl, as if it had been licked. Ji Yu Linglong burped, with a satisfied smile on her face. By the way, junior brother, although you exposed the incident in the cafeteria and were rewarded by Master, you must be careful in the future to avoid being retaliated by the Great Elder's lineage. Ji Yu Linglong suddenly said solemnly. The Great Elder's lineage. Yes, the Great Elder has been coveting the position of the sect leader for a long time, but he has never had the chance to take action. This time, you exposed the incident in the cafeteria, and the owner of the cafeteria is the nephew of the Great Elder. This matter has a great impact on his prestige. He is one step further away from the position of sect leader, and you have offended him to death. I see. If he wants revenge, let him do it. Ling Feng said calmly, not afraid at all. His master is the #1 sword cultivator in the Great Zhou dynasty. He himself is also the highly regarded martial Dao sacred body. Is he afraid of something? Ling Feng's tone was calm, not afraid of the Great Elder's revenge. In Ji Yu Linglong's eyes, it became proof that he was not afraid of the powerful and magnanimous, and for a while, he respected the other party even more. Junior brother, you are really so upright. Don't worry, with my master here, I will never let you suffer the slightest injustice in White Cloud sect. Ji Yu Linglong promised, patting her chest. She chatted with Ling Feng for a while longer. When talking about the 10,000 taels of funds, Ji Yu Linglong said, Junior brother, I think you don't have a useful weapon in your hand, so why not buy a sword? Buying a sword, that's not bad. Ling Feng touched his chin, feeling a little moved. 10,000 taels should be enough to buy a nice sword. Ha, that's more than enough, as long as you don't want to buy the famous swords in the famous sword manuals. Ji Yu Linglong said with a smile. Famous sword manual. Yes, junior brother doesn't know the famous sword manual of Great Zhou dynasty. Please give me some advice, senior sister. Wait. Ji Linglong took out a book from the storage ring, which had 5 words written on it, Dajo's famous sword manual. Ling Feng took it curiously and started to read it. The famous sword manual of the Great Zhou dynasty is a list jointly compiled by the Great Zhou dynasty and Zhonggu. In addition to the famous sword manual, there are also 3 major lists, the Divine Weapon List, the Grandmaster List, and the Heavenly List. These 3 major lists will not be mentioned first. He said that there are 100 famous swords in this sword manual, and they are all the best weapons in the world. Ji Linglong introduced. Ling Feng read the famous sword manuals with great interest. The 100th most famous sword score, Tianfeng Sword. 93. Snow Dragon Sword. No. 81. Star Mark Sword. No. 41. Qingxin Sword. 9th place. Chu Shui Sword. 7th place. Kixing Longyuan. 5th place. 9 Heavens Thunder. 1st place. Split the Sky. Just when Ling Feng was reading the sword manual. My dear disciple, I'm back. Lu Rusi's voice came from outside the house. When she came back, she saw the vast purple bamboo forest and blinked. Did you go to the wrong hill? But I took a look at the wooden house in the purple bamboo forest. It is indeed the wooden house where I live, right? Open the door. In the wooden house, Ji Linglong and Ling Feng stood up to greet them. When he saw a strange woman in his room, holding a pair of bowls and chopsticks in his hand, Lu Rusi narrowed his eyes slightly, looking back and forth on Ling Feng and Ji Linglong, with a hint of amusement on the corner of his mouth. Good disciple, this girl is. I am Ji Linglong, a true disciple of Taishu Peak. This time I came to Piaomiao Peak to give a reward to my junior brother. Ji Linglong explained. I see. Lu Rusi suddenly realized. I have delivered the reward, so I won't disturb you too. Ji Linglong smiled faintly. Hey, I have to leave as soon as I come. Don't be so outspoken. Elder Lu is joking, I have to go back and report to Master. Oh, come here often when you have time. No one comes to Piaomiao Peak on weekdays. It would be nice if you come often to make us more popular. Lu Rusi said enthusiastically. Definitely, the food cooked by junior brother is delicious. I will come here often. Ji Linglong smiled and then left. As if she thought of something, she turned around and said, by the way, junior brother, I'm looking forward to your performance in the sect competition in half a month. Sect competition. Ling Feng heard about it for the first time. But you can probably tell what it's about by hearing the name. What a good girl. Looking at the direction Ji Linglong was leaving, Lu Rusi smiled slightly, then looked at Ling Feng teasingly. How are you, good disciple? Are you interested? What interest? I picked someone up. Ahem. Ling Feng, who was drinking water, coughed a few times and rolled his eyes. Master, why don't you show up properly? Senior sister and I have only known each other for a few days. What's the matter? It's love at first sight. Ha ha. Ling Feng chuckled for a moment, then stopped exploring the issue. Master, what have you gained from going out this time? That's a huge reward. Lu Rusi smiled and took out a package. Open it and take a look. It was full of white silver bills and a few gold ingots. Master, have you robbed a bank? What nonsense are you talking about? This is the reward for catching fugitives for my master. With this money, from now on, we, master and apprentice, can eat hot and spicy food at Tianquan Villa every day. By the way, I will give you back you brought a gift. Lu Rusi took out a sword from the storage ring. The dark scabbard is inlaid with 7 gorgeous gems, and the sword is in the shape of a dragon's head, with dragon scale patterns on the hilt. At first glance, this sword looks very impressive. Ling Feng looked at this sword, but the more he looked at it, the more familiar it became. This sword? No, it can't be. I am not wrong, right? Ling Feng quickly picked up the famous sword manual and flipped through it a few times. Turn to the first few pages. 7 stars long yuan. The 7th number on the famous sword list is that 300 years ago, the swordsmith O Yeji quarried the red copper sacred iron and gathered the energy of the dragon veins to cast it. On the day the sword was completed, there was a vision of a real dragon rising into the sky. The dragon roared thousands of miles away, and the Beidou 7 stars resonate with it. Hence the name, Kixing Longyuan, closing square bracket. It is rumored that this sword has great luck. Anyone who gets this sword will be blessed by luck, like a hidden dragon emerging from the abyss, soaring into the sky. Closing square bracket. This sword is unruly and unruly. It is stored deep in the Dajo sword villa. It is said that no one can control it for 100 years. Master, this can't be Kixing Longyuan. Exactly. Lu Rusi laughed and felt quite proud. This sword is just okay. You can make do with it. When you become stronger in the future, I will find a better one for you. The corner of Ling Feng's mouth twitched. This is Kixing Longyuan. Ranked 7th in the Great Zhou famous sword book. It is a magical weapon that countless sword cultivators dream of. Even a strong man like King Wuzun will be excited when he sees it. In the words of his master, it is just okay. Awesome. Wait a minute, isn't this sword at Hidden Sword Villa? Master, how did you get it? Ling Feng asked curiously. It's nothing. I just went to have a fight with the owner of the Hidden Sword Villa. Anyway, it would be a waste to leave this sword where they are. I might as well give it to you. If I remember correctly, the owner of Hidden Sword Villa is a well-known strong man in the Great Zhou dynasty. His cultivation has reached the level of King Wu. Well, tisk, after practicing for more than 100 years, he is just the king of martial arts. It's such an embarrassment. Lu Rusi curled his lips. He looked dismissive of the other person. Master, what state are you in? Ling Feng asked the question that had been in his mind for a long time. If you just try hard, you will be invincible. She smiled slightly and said the most arrogant words in the most frivolous tone. Ling Feng didn't know whether what she said was true or false. There is no way to verify it. But the other party's words instilled great confidence in Ling Feng's heart. Just think that what master said is true. There is a master who is invincible in the world. Plus a system for issuing various rewards. If he doesn't walk sideways in the future, he will be sorry for himself. After getting Kixing Longyuan, Ling Feng was very happy. Carry this sword wherever you go. He easily pulled out the sword and practiced his sword skills in the open space. The sword energy was like a strong wind, and there was a faint sound of dragon roaring. The sword and the person seemed to have some kind of resonance. Dragon energy soars into the sky. To be recognized by Kixing Longyuan so easily. Sword heart is indeed as transparent as me. You are indeed my good disciple. Lu Rusi looked on with a gentle smile on his face. Ling Feng, the 7-star dragon abyss, resonates with the human sword, causing the sword energy to soar like a dragon into the sky. For a moment, everyone in the White Cloud sect felt something. They looked at the golden dragon shadow swimming in the sky and couldn't help but talk about it. What vision is this? Did someone break through to the realm of King Marshall? Only by breaking through King Marshall can it be possible to activate the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and form a vision of the king's way. No, it's not a royal vision, this is some kind of sword energy. The Lord of White Cloud sect and the Great Elder were also thoughtful. That is the direction of Piaomiao Peak. Did Lu Rusi do it? The other side. In the Hidden Sword Villa, the owner of the villa is sitting cross-legged, with a sword in front of his knees, and a sword intent flowing all over his body, dazzling and formidable. Suddenly, he sensed something and glanced in the direction of White Cloud sect. His eyes penetrated through the layers and he saw the vision of dragon energy soaring into the sky. He couldn't help but shake his head and sighed. 7-star Longyuan. Has a master. Recalling his battle with Lu Rusi, he couldn't help but feel a little depressed. Why is that guy so strong? Doesn't it mean that the other party has already surrendered to himself? White Cloud Sect, Misty Peak. Ling Feng is a master of swordsmanship, and his swordsmanship is natural and coordinated. It actually reached the state where man and sword become one. When he stopped, the true chi in his body had already surged, from the 7th level of innate to the 9th level of innate in one breath. There is only one step left to become the martial master. It has been less than a month since he stepped into martial Dao. Ding! For the first time, the host entered the state of human sword unity, and successfully obtained the recognition of the 7-star dragon abyss as its master, which shocked all parties and rewarded the host with sword power. Closing square bracket. Sword power. What? The next second, Ling Feng only felt a mysterious realization in his mind, and his body began to exude an extremely sharp aura. The whole person is like a sharp sword. The 7-star Longyuan in his hand emits a sword chant, and combined with the sword's momentum, it becomes even more domineering. Lu Rusi watched from the side. After noticing the sword's power, His eyes lit up and he laughed and said, as expected of my disciple, he realized the sword's power so quickly. Ling Feng asked curiously, Master, what is sword force? Position is a kind of power that exists in the world. Only when a martial artist in this world understands she can he be considered as a master. And there are various kinds of momentum. For example, what a boxer can perceive as the fist momentum, and what a swordsman perceives as the sword momentum. There are 9 levels of potential. You are only on the first level now, but at your age, it is quite impressive to be able to sense the potential. Given time, not only the momentum, but also the true meaning above the momentum can be understood. I will take good care of you, my teacher. Lu Rusi patted Ling Feng on the shoulder and encouraged him. At this time, the master of White Cloud sect came slowly and looked at Ling Feng, who was exuding potential. His pupils shrank. Ling Feng, have you realized the potential? How about it? My disciple is great, isn't he? It's not just awesome, it's simply terrifying. White Cloud sect is the master of lost spirit. When he advanced to the martial arts level, he barely realized the existence of Shi. But Ling Feng realized the potential after practicing for less than a month. This talent is so many dimensions higher than his. Wait, that sword. The master of White Cloud sect then discovered something. He looked at the sword in Ling Feng's hand and trembled. This is the 7th star Long Yuan, the 7th in the famous sword book. Isn't this sword in the Hidden Sword Villa? Why is it here, in Ling Feng's hands? I went to Hidden Sword Villa and they gave it to me. For no reason. Why did they give Kixing Long Yuan to you? What on earth did you do? Tell senior brother quickly. The Lord of White Cloud sect asked anxiously. The foundation of Hidden Sword Villa is only stronger than that of White Cloud sect. If this is not handled well, we will be in big trouble. Senior brother, please feel at ease. I just had a fight with the owner of the Hidden Sword Manor. If I beat him, he gave me this sword. Lu Rusi said calmly. The owner of White Cloud sect rolled his eyes and almost fainted. You defeated the owner of the Hidden Sword Manor, and he gave the sword to you. Are you sure you didn't steal it? Senior brother, you have too little confidence in my character. Would I do something like that? Lu Rusi curled his lips. Junior sister, just lie to others, don't lie to yourself. Senior brother, if you don't believe me, you should trust the owner of the Hidden Sword Manor. He said it himself and will not cause trouble for White Cloud sect. Well, the owner of the Hidden Sword Manor is also a well-known giant in the Great Zhou dynasty. He sticks to his word. Since he said so, it is reassuring. The master of White Cloud sect breathed a sigh of relief. He glanced at Ling Feng, who was holding the 7-star Longyuan sword, and said, You took this Longyuan sword to give to Ling Feng. For the sake of Ling Feng's face, I won't hold you accountable for your misdeeds this time. Ling Feng you have to guide me well in the future of my White Cloud sect. The future White Cloud sect depends on you. I know, stop nagging. Lu Rusi pouted, and after driving away the White Cloud sect master, she stretched, I'm so hungry, good disciple, cook me a bowl of noodles. Ling Feng looked at the 7-star Longyuan in his hand and nodded, okay. In the blink of an eye. Half a month passed gradually. During this time, the whole White Cloud sect is bustling. There is no other reason than that the sect competition in White Cloud sect is about to begin. That was the busiest event in White Cloud sect. All the disciples worked hard and planned to win the competition. Lu Rusi also signed up for Ling Feng. This sect competition is a good training opportunity for you. Remember, don't lose face as a teacher. Let those guys see the power of my Piao Miao peak. Lu Rusi smiled and had high hopes for Ling Feng. I see. Ling Feng nodded. Now that he has embarked on the road of martial Dao, he naturally has some ambition to win. If he doesn't participate, that's it. Once he participates, he will. First, on the eve of the sect's grand competition, Ling Feng sat across the stream, took out 2 Shangqing pills and swallowed them in his stomach. The power of the pills flowed through his body, turned into warm current flowing. His momentum also began to rise. Boom! It seemed like some shackles had been broken. He broke through in one fell swoop and reached the realm of martial master. Wearing true qi is extremely condensed. Raising his hand, a faint golden light bloomed in the night sky. He is the martial Dao sacred body. Any technique with him can explode with stronger power, and the same is true for the Piao Miao Wushwang sword code. In this way, I will be more confident in this sect competition. Ling Feng smiled lightly. Ding! Congratulations to the host for breaking through the martial master realm and taking a further step on the road to the Divine King. The host will be rewarded with the power of 9 cows and 2 tigers. Closing square bracket. Huh, another bullshit and 2 tigers. Ling Feng felt a series of crackling sounds coming from his body. The strength has skyrocketed again. 9 cows and 2 tigers plus 9 cows and 2 tigers. Now, even without true chi, he can kill an elephant with 1 punch. I am very strong now, Ling Feng said confidently. In another room, Lu Rusi noticed the aura of Ling Feng's breakthrough and marveled, what a little monster. He has broken through the martial master so quickly. It is estimated that within a few years, he will become a martial sect or even a martial king. Perhaps, he will be my hope. As if thinking of something, Lu Rusi's eyes gradually showed expectation. The sect competition begins. In the square of White Cloud Sect, many disciples gathered around a ring. From ordinary disciples to true disciples, everyone is looking forward to it. I don't know who will be the leader of this sect competition. I think it's Senior Brother Feng Xiaoyaofeng. Senior Brother Feng. His strength is indeed astonishing. It is said that he is close to the realm of martial arts. Even some elders from the outer sect are no match for him. Tisk, I'm more optimistic about Senior Sister Lang Ningxuang than Senior Brother Feng. She once had a tie with Wu Ling. That's true. Actually, Senior Brother Zhang Ruichen also has a lot of hope. Everyone was talking about it. At this time, someone discovered something and exclaimed, "Look, who is that?" Not far away, Ling Feng was wearing a white gown, a sword hanging on his waist, and his black hair was like a waterfall. He walked slowly. As soon as he appeared, he became the center of attention. All go. This boy is so good looking. Which disciple is he from? Ma Shang is as beautiful as jade, and my son is unparalleled in the world. Now I finally know what it means to be stunning in the world. I declare that he is my new husband. Hey, oh, my tea seeds seem to be getting wet. Go away, don't make a fuss here. Don't you know who he is? This is Junior Brother Ling Feng who exposed the corruption incident in the cafeteria. Martial Dao Sacred Body. What? It's him. No wonder he's so handsome. With the blessing of infinite charm, Ling Feng can become the center of attention wherever he goes. At this time, he walked towards the ring and immediately attracted everyone's attention. Immediately, he stopped under a big tree. Under the shade of the tree, he quietly waited for the sect competition to begin. Just standing there, he seemed to blend in with the surrounding heaven and earth, and the breeze blew his hair, like a painting. Only at this moment did everyone realize what it means. What a beauty, Junior Brother. At this time, Ji Yu Linglong trotted up and said hello to Ling Feng. Ling Feng saw her and smiled slightly. Hello, Senior Sister. This smile made many senior sisters drunk on the spot. Wow, he smiles so cutely. No, 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 I really want to play with him. Playing what? Who is this woman? She is so close to her junior brother. Many women looked at Ji Yu Linglong. There was a hint of sharp hostility in his eyes. Ji Yu Linglong suddenly felt a chill running down her spine, but then she raised her chin slightly, showing a bit of pride, and leaned closer to Ling Feng. Looking at those women, there was a sense of arrogance in their eyes. Everyone was so angry that they gritted their teeth. Junior Brother, how are you? Do you have confidence in this sect competition? I'll try my best, Ling Feng said with a slight smile. Soon, an elder stepped onto the ring. He took out a book and announced, the sect competition has begun. The first game will be between Zhang Ruichen and Lu Renjia. Whoosh! A figure in white walked onto the stage gracefully. It was Zhang Ruichen who Ling Feng had met once before. His opponent had a grimace on his face. I faced the true disciple of the God Sword Peak in the first game. No one else is lucky enough. He also jumped onto the ring, but he no longer had any hope in his heart. The two sides began to compete. As expected, Zhang Ruichen won with only 2 moves. After getting off the stage, he also came to Ling Feng and said with a smile, Junior Brother, long time no see. I've met Senior Brother. Junior Brother has just joined White Cloud Sect for only a month, and yet he dares to participate in the sect competition. It is really courageous. Senior brother admires me. Zhang Ruochen smiled. Then, he began to introduce various players to Ling Feng. He still has a good impression of Ling Feng. Moreover, it will do him no harm at all to make friends with a martial Dao sacred body. Next game, Ling Feng vs. Jia Sheng. Hearing this, everyone looked at Ling Feng. Junior brother, be careful. This Jia Sheng's cultivation has reached the 5th level of innate, and he is also the 4th disciple of the Great Elder. Zhang Ruochen said solemnly. Ling Feng exposed the corruption in the cafeteria and indirectly offended the elder. As a disciple of the Great Elder, Jia Sheng would definitely not let him go easily. Ling Feng also knew this and nodded slightly. I understand. He walked towards the ring step by step without any fear on his face. But some people can't help but worry. Junior brother Ling has just joined White Cloud sect for more than a month. Even if he is a martial Dao sacred body, how high can his cultivation be? Yeah, I'm definitely no match against Jia Sheng, who is at the 5th level of innate. Ooh, I wanted to see my junior brother a few more times. Didn't I expect that he would lose so soon? I hope there will be a miracle. In the arena, Jia Sheng, dressed in black and with narrow eyebrows, stared at Ling Feng and sneered. Martial Dao sacred body Ling Feng, I've heard of you a long time ago. It's a pity that you have only practiced for more than a month. You cannot be my opponent. I advise you to surrender obediently to avoid suffering the physical pain. Senior brother, I appreciate your kindness, but I still want to give it a try. If you want to ask for trouble, then you can't blame me. Whoosh! Jia Sheng took action fiercely. He spread his fingers and grabbed Ling Feng's cheek. When everyone saw this, they were shocked. Especially some female disciples were shocked and angry. What? How could he do this to such a face? Asshole, don't slap me in the face. Jia Sheng's eyes flashed with coldness. After practicing in the White Cloud sect for so many years, his reputation has always been tepid, but Ling Feng became the center of attention as soon as he appeared. This displeased him. Isn't it just about a face? See if I scratch your face to pieces, see how you still attract so much attention. Sensing Jia Sheng's sinister thoughts, Ling Feng's eyes also showed coldness. The right hand grabbed it like lightning, directly grabbing the opponent's attacking wrist, and then squeezed hard. With a click, the bones of the opponent's palm exploded. Ah! Jia Sheng let out a shrill wail, his face full of horror. How so? Ling Feng raised his hand with a cold expression and threw him off the ring. The opponent was immediately thrown into the ground and was in a state of embarrassment. When everyone saw this, they were all stunned. Innate 5th level, defeated like this. He's so strong. It seems he didn't use true chi. He just used brute force to throw Innate's 5th level Jia Sheng off the ring. He was too powerful. A high platform not far away. The Lord of White Cloud sect and the elders were also watching the battle. Originally, like everyone else, they thought Ling Feng had little chance of winning. Unexpectedly, the other party actually gave them such a surprise. This Ling Feng is so powerful. Is it a natural divine power? Martial Dao sacred body coupled with natural divine power, this person has a bright future. Everyone looked at Ling Feng and looked forward to his future more and more. Some of the disciples participating in the sect competition also looked eager to try when they looked at Ling Feng. Martial Dao sacred body Ling Feng. Interesting. Perhaps he will be a strong enemy. Without true chi, I can defeat the 5th level innate with just my strength. It seems that there will be a dark horse in this sect competition. I hope you won't disappoint me too much. After Ling Feng won the game, he jumped off the ring. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the first battle in the sect competition. The host will be rewarded with 100,000 taels of silver. Closing square bracket. For Ling Feng, defeating Jia Sheng is just a matter of effort. But such a simple thing can earn 100,000 taels of silver. Can only say, system rewards are really becoming more and more unreasonable. He shook his head, then returned to the tree and continued chatting with Zhang Ruochen and Ji Yu Linglong, while the sect competition continued. From day to evening, the first day passed like this. In the evening, Ling Feng returned to Piaomiao Peak. Also accompanying them were Ji Yu Linglong and Zhang Ruochen. They are all here for a meal. Zhang Ruochen also became interested when he heard Jiyu Linglong talk about Ling Feng's cooking skills. Ling Feng didn't mind. After buying a bunch of vegetables, I returned to Piaomiao Peak and started to get busy. Looking at the plates of delicacies brought out from the kitchen, Zhang Ruochen couldn't help but swallowed. Junior brother's cooking skills are indeed superb. After having enough wine and food, Lu Rusi was picking his teeth aside. Jiyu Linglong was rubbing her shoulders and back, trying to get closer to her. Zhang Ruochen was washing dishes in the kitchen. This makes Ling Feng feel relieved. Finally, here comes someone who knows how to wash dishes. The moon hangs on the branches. Jiyu Linglong and Zhang Ruochen left one after another. Lu Rusi asked Ling Feng about his performance today, and he told him everything. Well, with your martial master level and martial Dao sacred body, as long as you don't encounter those few true disciples who are close to the martial arts, almost no one can be your opponent. Lu Rusi yawned and said, as long as I keep winning, I will eventually encounter them. Master, what do you think I have a chance of winning against them? 1%. So low. Ling Feng was stunned for a moment. He thought it was at least a 50-50 split. Oh, I said they only have a 10% chance of winning. Lu Rusi said lightly. Ling Feng smiled slightly. It turns out that master has such confidence in me. Then I have to work harder to win the position of leader. The sect competition continues. 7 days passed in a row. Ling Feng also entered the ring several times, and all ended in his victory. And the most surprising thing is, Ling Feng has never used true qi from the beginning of the sect competition to the present, and has always relied on his strength to win. The power of 9 oxen and 2 tigers plus the power of 9 oxen and 2 tigers. So scary. Next game, Ling Feng vs Wang Shu. It's Ling Feng's turn to enter the ring again. Everyone in the audience cheered. Ling Feng, Ling Feng, Ling Feng, senior sister loves you. Come on. Ling Feng, feel free to fly, senior sister, push from behind. Looking at the enthusiastic female disciples around him, the corner of Zhang Ruochen's mouth twitched. Good guy, junior brother Ling is really popular. That's right. It is said that many people have spontaneously formed a support group and gather together every day to discuss junior brother Ling Feng. Jiyu Linglong smiled from the side. Aren't you also a member of the support group? I am the leader of the support group. Jiyu Linglong raised her chin slightly, looking proud. After saying that, she also shouted loudly like the other female disciples next to her. Junior brother, come on. Junior brother is mighty. Ling Feng, over the top. In the arena, Ling Feng's opponent Wang Shu looked at the many disciples shouting and cheering below. His face turned livid, and then he shouted loudly, shut up. The sound is mixed with rolling true qi and is very domineering. His cultivation level has impressively reached the level of martial master. And among the martial masters, he is not a weakling. Everyone was shocked by his momentum and couldn't help but pause. Wang Shu snorted softly, feeling secretly proud of himself. But then, a louder voice sounded. Why are you shouting so loudly? It's none of your business that we cheer for Ling Feng. Martial master is amazing. I am also a martial master. Come on if you have the guts. Come on Ling Feng. I remember, this Wang Shu is the second disciple of the great elder. No wonder he can't see us cheering for Ling Feng. Humph, no one is cheering for him, so he is jealous. On the ring, Wang Shu's face became increasingly gloomy. He simply ignored it and looked coldly at Ling Feng, who walked onto the ring. I will trample you under my feet later. Let me see how arrogant these people can be. After saying that, he took a step forward and martial master true qi exploded. With one palm shot, the force of the palm is like a heavy wave. It is one of the martial arts of White Cloud sect, the wave palm. Ling Feng punched out, but still didn't use true qi. His energy suddenly exploded, hitting the palm of his opponent's hand, knocking them back. HMPH, come again. Wang Shu continued to take action, taking one step forward, using a kind of movement technique while moving, and his figure was as erratic as a ghost. Whoosh! In the blink of an eye, he appeared behind Ling Feng. Ling Feng noticed something strange, and the true qi in his body had exploded. Boom! True qi glowed with golden light, covering his whole body. Wang Shu struck the true qi with his palm, as if hitting a piece of golden iron, making his arm numb. Martial Master Realm. You actually reached the level of martial master. Wang Shu's pupils shrank and he couldn't believe it. After just over a month of practice, I went from practicing as an ordinary person to the realm of martial master. Did you train on a rocket? What an exaggeration. Not to mention Wang Shu, the White Cloud sect master and several elders were also frightened. Let me go, it's really the martial master realm. How long has it been since he started? This kid Ling Feng is too perverted, isn't he? No matter how exaggerated the martial Dao sacred body is, it's not like this. Monster. The martial Dao sacred body was able to block the martial master's attack just by relying on the body protection true qi. The martial Dao sacred body is indeed extraordinary and cannot be compared with the ordinary martial artist. After using the protective true qi to repel Wang Shu, Ling Feng turned around and struck out with a palm. True qi is like Hong. Boom. Wang Shu was hit hard and flew backwards on the spot, landing outside the ring. Ling Feng, win. Everyone was surprised at Ling Feng's level at first, but then they couldn't help but shout. Junior brother Ling Feng is well done. Haha, I reached the martial master level within 1 month of entry. Let me just say, who else is there? Who else is there? Good boy, junior brother Ling Feng is invincible. On the high platform, the master of White Cloud sect chuckled, extremely happy. White Cloud sect has such a disciple, why worry about it? However, the opposite of the sect leader and other elders was the great elder. His face was slightly gloomy, and he stared at Ling Feng with a hint of gloom in his eyes. He has already had 2 apprentices lose to Ling Feng one after another. Plus the canteen incident. At this moment, he felt nothing but hatred for this martial Dao sacred body. We must not let him become the leader of this sect competition, otherwise his prestige will be at the peak of the sect and it will be even more difficult to deal with him. He must be defeated in the next game. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the sect competition again. His prestige has been enhanced. The host will be rewarded with 1 million taels of silver. Closing square bracket. The system sounded again. Ling Feng was quite helpless. System, every time I win a game, you will give me silver, ranging from 100,000 taels to 1 million taels. Do you plan to make me the richest man in the Great Zhou dynasty? Who is the richest man in Zhou dynasty? Host, you are the future transcendent level invincible divine king, and you want to be the richest man in all worlds. Closing square bracket. Okay, you have the final say. Ling Feng didn't say anything anymore. Although there is so much money that there is no place to spend it, it will be useful one day. Let him bear this trouble of happiness silently. Ling Feng, who won again, easily jumped off the ring. Everyone rushed to greet him. Junior brother Ling Feng, you are really amazing. You have reached the martial master level in such a short period of time. How do you practice? Great. Ling Feng looked at the crowd gathering with a faint smile on his face. He didn't say much, just smiled and walked through the crowd. According to past experience, a person can only participate in a competition at most once a day. So he didn't stay and returned to Piaomiao Peak. Shortly after, Ji Yu Linglong and Zhang Ruochen are also here. However, the former's expression was not very good looking. Ling Feng thought about it and immediately guessed, senior sister Ji Yu, lost. Ji Yu Linglong nodded frustratedly. Ling Feng smiled and said, senior sister, like me, has not been a member of White Cloud sect for a long time. It is already very difficult to get to this point. He comforted her. Ji Yu Linglong's mood improved slightly. Junior brother Ling, you don't have time to worry about other people now. The elder has just announced the top 8 list and your next opponent. Zhang Ruochen said solemnly from the side, it's Feng Xiaoyao. Feng Xiaoyao, that name sounds like he's going to be a great character. Ling Feng touched his chin and smiled. Well, he is the chief disciple of the great elder. The favorite to win the sect competition this time. His cultivation level is the 9th level of martial master. Martial master 9 levels, much taller than him. I don't know how the combat power is. Ling Feng was slightly looking forward to it. The next day, the sect competition begins. Many disciples are discussing the next battle. Today is the first match of the quarterfinals. I heard that Feng Xiaoyao is facing off against junior brother Ling Feng. Tisk, tisk, junior brother Ling Feng is probably in trouble. Yes, Feng Xiaoyao is the chief disciple of the great elder, the 9th level of martial master, and he is very powerful. I'm afraid junior brother Ling Feng is no match for him. Don't underestimate me, junior brother, he is martial Dao sacred body. But Feng Xiaoyao is not weak anymore. I heard that he also possesses a certain kind of martial Dao physique, and his combat power is better than the ordinary martial master. In the crowd, everyone was talking endlessly. At this time, a young man wearing a green robe and sharp eyebrows jumped onto the ring. His hair was flying, but it was unruly. It is Feng Xiaoyao. Not far away from him, Ling Feng was also walking slowly. Looking at the young junior brother in front of him, Feng Xiaoyao showed a hint of appreciation in his eyes. Junior brother, you are extraordinary for being able to reach the top 8 battlefield. Senior brother is so complimentary. But it's a pity that my master is destined to do my best to defeat you, so today, you have to stop here. Feng Xiaoyao said with a smile. Please enlighten me. Ling Feng was speechless and jumped onto the ring. The two of them bowed. Then Feng Xiaoyao stepped forward, as fast as lightning, and grabbed Ling Feng with his 5 fingers, which contained the domineering true qi. Ling Fengchun punched out. The power of 9 cows and 2 tigers plus true qi works together. Fists and palms faced each other, and Feng Xiaoyao was knocked back several steps. Ling Feng also took a step back. But everyone couldn't help but exclaimed. Look, Feng Xiaoyao took 4 steps back, but junior brother Ling Feng only took 1 step back. It was junior brother Ling Feng who had the upper hand. Okay. Ling Feng is so awesome. Martial Dao sacred body is truly extraordinary. It seems that junior brother Ling Feng still has a good chance of winning. Many female disciples looked at Ling Feng, their beautiful eyes filled with brilliance. And Feng Xiaoyao smiled and said, okay, what a martial Dao sacred body. In that case, I won't hide it anymore, look at me. Hurricane martial body. Open. A low drink. The true qi inside Feng Xiaoyao's body surged out like a storm. But it is a powerful martial Dao physique. Junior brother, be careful, this hurricane body can double my speed and increase my attack power by at least 50%. After Feng Xiaoyao finished speaking, his figure disappeared from the place like the wind. Appeared the next second, already behind Ling Feng. In his hand, an iron fan appeared at some point. The iron fan was like a knife, hitting Ling Feng's shoulder. But he saw golden true qi flowing on his body, and the iron fan struck it and made a sound of golden iron, but the huge power also made Ling Feng's body tremble. The next second, the Qixing Longyuan on his waist was unsheathed. The moment the sword came out, the sharp edge swept across, and a dragon roar shook the sky. The sword energy surged like a violent wave, and Feng Xiaoyao was directly knocked back. Looking at Ling Feng holding a long sword and surrounded by dragon energy, his eyes were full of shock. This is the 7th one in the famous sword manual. 7 stars Long Yuan. Why is this sword in your hand? Not only Feng Xiaoyao, but others and even the elders in the stands couldn't help but stand up with shock on their faces. 7-star Long Yuan is actually this sword. Wait a minute, how does he have this sword? Isn't it at Hidden Sword Villa? On the other hand, the Lord of White Cloud sect was sitting there, looking like an old god. Isn't it just a 7-star dragon abyss? Look at you like that. Sect master, have you known about this for a long time? Ah. How do you know? If that weren't the case, how could you be so calm? Ahem, it's true. I just found out about it a few days ago. Don't worry, nothing will happen to this 7-star Longyuan in Ling Feng's hands. After everyone heard this, they relaxed slightly. Then he looked at Ling Feng, with the word envy written in his eyes. 7-star Longyuan, the 7th famous sword. I don't know how many people covet this sword. I didn't expect that it would be in the hands of a young boy. Yes, and this sword has not had an owner for nearly 100 years, but Ling Feng can wield this sword. It seems that he is the master of the 7 stars dragon abyss. In the arena, Ling Feng, who pulled out Qixing Longyuan, took action again. Various exquisite sword techniques were used one after another. Liangyi sword technique, Sankai sword technique, 4 symbols sword technique. The sword technique formed an overwhelming sword net, completely covering Feng Xiaoyao. Even though the opponent had the body of a hurricane and was extremely fast, he couldn't last long in this dense sword net, and his clothes were quickly torn by the sword energy. Looking quite embarrassed, Finally he threw up his hands in surrender. I give up. Junior brother has great swordsmanship and I am no match. Senior brother's body skills are not bad either. Ling Feng followed suit with a polite word. Since the beginning of the sect competition, the opponent was the first person that he had to use his sword skills to deal with, and he was much stronger than the others. Congratulations, junior brother, for advancing to the semifinals. I look forward to you becoming the leader. Feng Xiaoyao smiled and jumped off the ring calmly. In the stands, the great elder's face was extremely gloomy. What the hell is this guy Feng Xiaoyao doing, actually surrendering and admitting defeat? Where does this put my face? But no matter how angry he was, there was nothing he could do. Ling Feng successfully became one of the top 4. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully advancing to the top 4 of the sect competition. He is one step closer to becoming the leader of the sect. The host will be rewarded with the power of the idol. Closing square bracket. The power of the idol. The same thing also increases power. Ling Feng asked curiously. The power of the 9 oxen and 2 tigers or the power of the divine elephant, which one is more powerful? Returning to the host, the power of 9 oxen and 2 tigers is comparable to the power of 1 divine elephant. Closing square bracket. Ling Feng's eyes lit up. In this way, he was equivalent to gaining the power of 9 cows and 2 tigers in one go. How about being able to kill everything with just 1 strength? Martial master. Ling Feng defeated Feng Xiaoyao and successfully advanced to the semifinals. This time he did not leave, but got off the ring and watched the others compete. Soon, the other top 3 candidates also came out. They are Zhang Ruochen, Li Yu and a woman named Lang Ningxuang. This woman, as her name suggests, is as cold as ice. But he is the strongest among the 3. Even better than Feng Xiaoyao, almost a martial spirit. The next day, Ling Feng stepped into the ring again. And this time, his opponent is Zhang Ruochen. The other party looked at Ling Feng and smiled slightly. I give up. As soon as this statement came out, everyone was in an uproar. Are you admitting defeat before the fight is even started? Ling Feng was also stunned for a moment. Senior brother Zhang, you don't have to let me go. Oh, I really am no match for my junior brother. Zhang Ruochen is very self-aware and knows that he can't even beat Feng Xiaoyao, so how can he possibly beat Ling Feng who defeated Feng Xiaoyao? So he gave up decisively. When Ling Feng heard this, he smiled helplessly. Thank you, senior brother, for the permission. Ding! Zhang Ruochen was conquered by the host's personality charm and took the initiative to surrender. Congratulations to the host for successfully entering the finals of the sect competition. Closing square bracket. Reward the host. Sword control skills. Closing square bracket. Ling Feng blinked. If someone admits defeat, you will reward them. This gave him a feeling of getting something for nothing. Look at this reward again. Swordsmanship. Oh haha. Isn't this a cultivator? But considering that there are even storage rings in this world, sword control is not something worth fussing about. After receiving the reward, Ling Feng felt a pile of information pouring into his mind. Somehow, there was a resonance between himself and the 7-star Longyuan in his hand. Junior brother Ling, come on, if you can get the first place in the sect competition, you will refresh the history of White Cloud sect. After all, you have become the first place in the sect after more than a month after joining. For hundreds of years, you are probably the only one. Quote. When Ling Feng was receiving information about sword control, Zhang Ruochen smiled. I try my best. Ling Feng nodded slightly. Hey, if you two don't want to fight, come down quickly. I'm still going to fight. At this time, Li Yu, one of the top 4 under the ring, curled his lips. The two of them didn't hesitate, jumping off the ring and moving positions for each other. Martial Dao is not something you let me or I let you. The road to martial Dao has only one word, that is fight. Fight with heaven. Fight with people. You two are too young. Li Yu glanced at the 2 people and said, then jumped onto the ring. A powerful aura suddenly erupted from his body. Astonishingly, it is the 9th level of martial master. Lang Ningxuang, come up and fight. He looked at the frosty woman and said indifferently. Lang Ningxuang nodded slightly and slowly walked onto the ring. Li Yu was unambiguous, and then took a step forward. A black long knife suddenly unsheathed at his waist, and the sharp sword light pierced the sky. Sonorous. Lang Ningxuang used his sword to block. It was a blue long sword with patterns of snowflakes on it. The 60th one on the list of famous swords, the Snow Spirit Sword. Someone exclaimed. Then I saw sword energy spreading on the sword body. Li Yu's body was eroded by the sword energy, as if he was frozen into an ice sculpture, unable to move, and then he was kicked directly by Lang Ningxuang and kicked off the ring. Ling Feng and Zhang Ruochen blinked. This man is defeated so quickly. Didn't he look very awesome just now? Oh, so don't be too arrogant as a person, otherwise it won't look good if you get slapped in the face. How arrogant you were just now will make you look embarrassed now. Under the ring, Li Yu stood up, his face extremely pale, staring at Lang Ningxuang with shock in his eyes. You actually broke through the martial spirit realm. Exactly, Lang Ningxuang said indifferently, and then looked at Ling Feng under the ring. Junior brother Ling, you and I are the only ones left now, let's come up and show off. A showdown. There was a hint of strangeness on Ling Feng's face. Isn't this obvious? You are a female and I am a male. Lang Ningxuang also realized that what she said was a bit inappropriate, but her expression did not change at all. Junior brother Ling, let me see your true strength. She could see that Ling Feng had always been hiding something. Even when he defeated Feng Xiaoyao, he didn't use all his strength. Oh, then I'll ask my senior sister for advice. Ling Feng jumped up and came to the ring. Facing the cold frost in the martial spirit realm, he was not careless. The 7-star Longyuan sword at his waist was immediately unsheathed, and a dragon roar echoed in the void. What a sword! Lang Ningxuang sighed in admiration. Then the snow spirit sword in his hand thrust out, and in an instant, there was a heavy wind and snow. Ling Feng blocked with his sword. A sonorous sound. The two swords clashed together, the sound of gold and iron clashing erupted, and the dissipated sword energy swept across the entire arena, causing sword marks to appear one after another on the arena. At this moment, both of them were almost giving their all. The entire arena seemed to collapse. Is this the true strength of junior brother Ling Feng? He is so strong. He can actually compete with the martial spirit realm. He is worthy of being a junior brother. Too strong, they are on a completely different level from us. Clang, 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 clang. The two swords collided one after another. The true chi impact turns into sword energy spreading. Ling Feng gets more and more excited as he fights, true chi surges, and his strength continues to increase. The power of 9 oxen and 2 tigers, plus the power of 9 oxen and 2 tigers. Finally upgraded to the power of an elephant. The terrifying power allows him to sweep across the martial master even without using true chi. Plus true chi, even martial spirits cannot resist it. Lang Ningxuang only felt that the power coming from the sword was getting more and more terrifying. The hand holding the sword was numb. Ling Feng slashed out with another sword. The sword aura is awe-inspiring, and the power is even more domineering. Lang Ningxuang felt that what was coming in front of her was not a sword, but a mountain. She felt it was difficult to resist and quickly dodged. And this sword fell on the ring. There was a bang. Gravel splashes. The entire arena cracked from the middle and was forcibly split in half. Everyone was in an uproar. Let me go, what kind of power is this? Is this really the power that a martial master can have? Junior brother Ling Feng is so fierce. Seeing the power of this sword, Lang Ningxuang couldn't help but change her face slightly, with a trace of fear on her face. If this sword hits her, Lang Ningxuang couldn't help but shudder. Facing Ling Feng who continued to attack, Lang Ningxuang did not dare to confront him head-on. With a movement of her body, she actually stood up from the ground. Behind her, a pair of wings made of blue ice crystals shine brightly. It is only available in the martial spirit realm, True Chi transformed wings. True Chi turns into wings and soars into the sky. Lang Ningxuang was high up, overlooking Ling Feng and said, Junior brother Ling, even though your fighting power is unparalleled, you still can't fly. I won this battle. After saying that, she raised her hand and cut off a series of sword energy. Ling Feng dodged left and right. He also tried to cut out his sword energy, but the opponent was in the air, far away, and difficult to lock on. For a moment, he was suppressed. How despicable. You actually used this method to beat junior brother Ling Feng. It's shameless for a martial spirit to beat up a martial master. Wuling's air superiority is too great. Many female disciples who were on Ling Feng's side were immediately dissatisfied. Some male disciples looked ashamed. This is a competition. Victory is everything. What happened to martial master? We are all disciples of the sect. Just because I am better than you, I cannot restrain myself and let you beat me. It doesn't make sense. However, these female disciples didn't think too much. They only saw that Ling Feng was about to lose, and they were immediately unhappy. At this time, Ling Feng, who was dodging left and right, suddenly smiled slightly, looked at Lang Ningxuang in the air and said, "Senior sister, have you ever heard of the art of sword control? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more."